This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, this video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning...
Uh-oh. Got a lot of technical difficulties going on here. Uh-oh. Got a lot of technical... Oh, I know what it is. My show's playing over there. Hold on a second. Got a lot of... Oh, I know what it is. There we go. Wow. That's so quiet. What's going on? Oh, there it is. I don't know what the hell. I was trying to use StreamYards, but it wasn't working. I think it's because I created 2 instances and it went all over the place. So, it didn't work. We'll have to try that again at another time. Unbelievable. Wow. It looked like it was working. There was just no image on the screen, so I could tell nobody could see anything. Yeah, I know that there is. I know there is. But this is the one that I'm on. I got rid of the other one a long time ago. But I think I deleted the one with StreamYards. Never mind. I don't want to go over it. Yeah. What do you mean? There's 2 now? Hold on, let me see. God. That's why I don't like trying to try something new, you know. You try to get StreamYards, you know, because it's easier for people to call in, and then it's just... Wow, Blue, you're gonna... Oh yeah, there's another one here. Okay, there's only 11 people on that one though. Let me delete that one. Wait, is that one? That one's still live though, right? Okay, I gotta go to StreamYards really quick and stop that one because it's just blank. It's crazy. Ah, man, what a nightmare. Hold on a second. Yeah, I was trying to make stuff easier and it got harder. How do you like that? I gotta stop this one. End broadcast on that one. Oh, see, it was gonna work now. I can see it. That's stupid. Alright, so everybody's still on this one, right? Okay. I think now I'm gonna get rid of this one. There's 11 people still over on that one. But I gotta get rid of it off of YouTube here, so that people don't keep going over there. That's weird. I don't know how I deleted one earlier and then another one got created. So thanks, Jennifer, for letting me know that. Okay, so I think everything's good now, other than now everybody has to call in the old way with Zoom because StreamYards didn't work yet again. I mean, it does work. It's just I'm not familiar with it, and I created a second session, deleted one, but then I went live on the one that I deleted, and then it was, you know, if I could play the sound effect, it would be this one, or this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna open up Zoom here, and I'm gonna don't worry about that StreamYard's link up there. That doesn't work anymore. And so I'll do the same thing with Zoom though. I'll just do the link, and if you want to come in with that, and you don't have to have your face on. It doesn't matter. So how's everybody doing? I played golf today, shot a 79, but that was literally the worst possible score that I could imagine. It was just really frustrating. All right. God, it's so quiet. Hold on. Yeah, nothing worse than when stuff doesn't go right, and then you just lose all of your, there's, I actually had to, in midstream, stop StreamYards and then streamed live with OBS Studio. And we got water going in the sink. Good times, good times.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. And then I got to get this ready for you guys to call in. Of course, nobody's going to call in because they always have so much to say, but never when there's a call in. Okay, there we go. And let me get the... I'll do two different ways that you can call in. Okay, the one will be the standard phone number way up here. Yeah, see, I wasn't going to have to do any of this stuff. Alright, so we got that, and copy invite link, put that right here, and enter, and pin. Okay, so now the Zoom link is at the top, and we've got the phone numbers on the screen right now as well. All right, so you can call in about anything that we've talked about in the last week or anything. A lot of people are interested in the Summer Wells case, obviously. So if you want to call in about that, feel free to do so. Everything should be working now. Sorry for the mishaps, but hey, at least I have the ability to get the ship back on track, right? Yeah, so anyways, my golf game today, I shot 8 over to par 71, but on the front nine I shot a 38, where that was literally the absolute worst I could, I got a double bogey on one hole with just a horrendous drive that I never do. Never do what I just did on that one. So I got double bogey. And then I had 7 pars. All of them were birdie putts from inside of 15 feet and made none. Okay, so I ended up 3 over. And then on the back nine, I shot like a 41 with another double bogey. I did get a birdie on a par 3. 156 yards. Hit an 8-iron right in there. Ding, ding, ding. And 3 feet away, made that one. But that was about it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take the first call now. All right, 513, you're on. Thanks, Scott Holland.
Hey, it's Denise Smith.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Here, hold on one second. I'll turn this off after this super chat comes in.
Okay.
Here is a donation for StreamYards to work another time and more. Golf flag, golfer, balls.
Yeah, I'll try StreamYards again tomorrow. I'll just make sure I got everything working. All right, so what's going on?
Well, I just wanted to tell a story that happened to a friend of mine just recently. I I've been mentioning it on here, but I haven't had a chance to really tell the story. My friend that from pretty about 20 years ago or so, she kept posting that her son was missing. This was like 2 weeks ago, and I live here in Cincinnati, Ohio area. And supposedly he had gone out to ride around with a friend of his and was supposed to be back later on the evening. And no one ever heard from him again after that night. And they put out a search for him and everything. And come to find out, the kid that he was supposed to be riding around with told everybody that he dropped him off at this dairy bar and that somebody picked him up with a car with black tinted windows. And ended up being a lie. His friend actually killed him and shot him in the head. And they found him like 2 blocks from my house.
Jeez.
So the guy's in jail right now for murder and for lying.
When did this
and
happen?
It was his best friend, so supposedly.
Yeah. When did this happen?
He was found about a week ago. He had been missing about a week.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think did you send me the story itself? I don't remember if you did or not. I get so many
I
emails.
Posted,
yeah.
I posted like the missing little flyer they had made. I posted that.
Oh, I see.
But like it was on the news, but
Wow.
But it's been pretty sad. So he was just buried on Thursday, I believe.
And you, how was he related to you? I missed that part at the beginning.
He was a friend of mine's son. His name was Bobby Farrell.
Wow.
Yeah.
So close to
He
you.
was 23. 23 years old, and he had a 4-year-old son.
How was he killed?
Shot in the head.
Oh, I think you said that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, this country's in some weird place. Just.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. Oh, it's because of guns. It's because of guns. Now, right? There's just a lot of violent people in our country,
right.
And I think if it was, they would use a knife if that's what they had. It's just a weird time right now. Creative.
They had been friends for like 5 years, and no one really knows what happened or why it happened yet. We're still waiting for more details. I guess it's under investigation.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay. Well, if you get any updates on it, let me know. You got any?
Okay. If anybody wants to look into the story, it was here in Cincinnati, Ohio. His name was Bobby Farrell. So.
Yeah. Well, you could send me an email with one link, his name and one link.
Okay.
And I'll see what I can find.
Sure.
Maybe bring it up, do an update or something.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Gray. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. All right. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye. You too.
All right, Mimi, you're on. Oh, I guess you got to connect first.
Recording.
You there? Hello. Well, she came on, but then she disappeared. Yeah, it's just crazy times. Hey, so why do you guys think that the Summer Wells case is so big? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Just curious. Yeah. Do you guys know what the answer for it is? It almost seems like a manufactured, like this. Is it really big all around the country? Or is it just a YouTube phenomenon that's really big? Because I haven't seen it like on Fox News very much, or CNN, or any place. So it's just kind of really on social media. It seems almost slightly manufactured. The over exposure to a case that is so similar to hundreds of others that get absolutely no attention whatsoever. It almost feels like it's because they're like a easy target to kind of make fun of if you want to. And you've got the TikTok videos that really don't show anything. You know, the swimming video at this point is irrelevant, you know. You know, the thing is what does the swimming video prove to anybody? You know, it proves to me that they went swimming. That's it.
My video is acting up. Frowning face.
Yeah.
I will try and come back later. Love my freak fam _basic generous.
Hey, miss you, Kit Kat. Always good to hear your voice coming. You have to come back on Halloween too, alright? Yeah, so the thing is, it proves that they were swimming. It doesn't prove anything that Hunter said, because Hunter said, I was standing there. She went under. I threw my shirt to the ground and I dove in like one of the characters on Baywatch and saved her. But when you watch the video, when he went in the water, he just walked in and Summer's happily playing and everything. Hey.
R.I.P. Bobby Farrell. Thanks, Gray and the Freak family.
Yeah, thank you very much, Denise. Sorry you had to go through that. Okay, cool, Kit Kat. So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I'd like to actually talk a little bit about why this case is so big. And yeah, I mean, I'm covering it too because it seems like there's just a lot of people that are interested and there's questions that people have, and you sort of want to get it out there in a reasonable, responsible way. Well, it doesn't make to me. It doesn't make him red flag. It makes him just trying to. Let's see. Well, here's the thing. If you guys were watching the show the other night, if you really think about it, the truth is that you see Summer still alive in the vehicle. Or even if, okay, how about this? You see Summer in the vehicle. She appears to be alive, given their, lips are red and everything like that. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, she's unconscious for something. But guess what? The only people responsible... well, you can't say the only people, but it eliminates H and his mom from being responsible for the disappearance of the physical body of Summer. Okay? And that's just the truth. I know people they struggle with it because they want to say, well, no, he wasn't in the car with them. They took off. And at some point, Summer went missing, but Hunter wasn't there with them. So that's the truth right there. Now, is it possible that, somebody slipped her a drug or something over at Hunter's house, and then she ended up, something happened to her, and she passed out, and then maybe she died or something? Let's just pretend that that's the truth. Hunter still didn't hide the body somewhere. Okay, so what I think is all you have to do is focus in at this point on who is responsible for the disappearance of the physical body of Summer. And then once you get that answer and find her, hopefully she's still alive, then you can start going backwards if it makes sense. Because people just spend hours and hours breaking down Hunter's interview over and over, making up this, making up that, making up this, making up that. But what difference does it make at this point? Find Summer, then work back at that point. It's always important to build the timeline, okay? But once the timeline's built, you don't need to keep, every little detail about Hunter and this kind of thing and that kind of thing. Because all indications are it's likely that Summer's physical being made it back, it was heading back towards home at 3:09, right? We know that. So, given the distance, they could have been home at 3:30, and then calling 911 was, what was it, 5:30-ish? Or that's when she started looking around. So there's this 2-hour gap when she gets home. And then you might ask yourself at that point, well, was there opportunity if something went, an accidental death, or, you could consider it an accidental death if a parent, slapped a kid and they weren't trying to intentionally kill them and they died somehow. I'd call that a higher degree. You accidentally killed them even though you're assaulting them. So I don't know if that's something that happened. It's very possible too. I mean, people are bringing up maybe the fact that somebody followed them. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but that somebody followed them from being in town and went there waiting to snatch Summer. I mean, it just seems like you'd be sitting there all day, just kind of waiting, a couple hours. You're just sitting there behind the trees, and as soon as you went outside, oh, there you go. It just seems like really unlikely. Okay, so look at you guys can use the link up above, or let me get the number on the screen here. Sorry, this screen didn't have it, but there you go. You can call. There's West Coast, Central, East at the top, right? And then you just type in the meeting ID and the passcode, and you get right in. Well, the reason here's the thing, A. Bielstein. Nobody's focusing in on anything else because there's nothing to talk about anymore. See, but if you can go back and talk about the entire day with Hunter and all that stuff, it gives you a lot of material, right? Like you can just go through the whole thing, talk about every angle at the, all the possibilities, swimming, stuff like that. But when you literally say, we have a photograph and video of Summer in the car with Candy and Candace, only those three, they're heading home. Therefore, the disappearance of the physical body of Summer Wells happened after dropping off Hunter at his house. Okay, there you go. Are you looking for Sasmere? Yeah, and you're dealing with a bunch of people who, kind of simple-minded people who, when they tell a story, they don't realize the importance of getting all the details correct in order, right? They'll just go ahead and say something like, yeah, well, we were gardening. She went inside the house. I guess she went and played with toys. And then we can't find her. Okay, that's kind of like the first story. And then over time, it got a little bit more detail. But somebody needs to sit down with Summer and go through the details like excruciatingly slow. Like literally go through every single thing that she can remember. And it's weird because there's people have had the opportunity, they just don't ask the follow-up questions that are really important. Like when you were interviewing Summer and she was about what happened when they were at home. We were gardening. And then after gardening, we washed our hands. And I think that's right. That's when she got something to eat. Like, didn't she get like a piece of candy or something? And then she wanted to go in. I don't remember when the candy was. Was that after gardening and then the candy, then she wanted to go inside? Well, that's what I meant, Candace. I don't, pretty obvious. I don't understand why sleuths are so judgmental of the appearance of those interviewed. Yeah, if I said Summer, that's not what I meant. There's Candace, Candy, the grandmother. That makes it easy to distinguish them. And then Summer is the the girl that's missing. It's hard to say everything right every second, every single time. So many different people. Yeah. So I would sit down with Candace and literally go through every single little detail. Okay, so when you went back after you walked her halfway to the house, what made you stop while she was going? Okay, great. Okay. So then she goes inside, and then you go back to help your well, actually you went see, it's weird because there's a whole couple different stories here. It's like she went halfway, and then Summer goes inside, and then she stopped, and then she went inside, and then I thought she then went back. She went in and said, hey, take care of Summer, watch what she's doing, and then she went back to help with the brace after that, and then she says, oh yeah, it was like 3 or 4 minutes later. But you really got to get her to say exactly how long it was. If you could just get her, are you sure it was just 3 or 4 minutes? Is there anything else she did? It's really important that we get, well, I guess it could have been, 10, 15 minutes. What are you talking about, Jackie Blue? Yeah, I'm gonna be calling him tomorrow, actually. Well, I don't really know exactly where the swing is because I don't see it. I was assuming that the swing was down in this area or something. Because there's the back door right there. And I was just thinking maybe the swing was down here. And that so it's sort of out of the way. I mean, heck, it could be over here too. I just don't know. Does anybody know for sure where the swing is? Is there a photograph of the swing? Yeah. All right. So who's calling in? All right. Man, you guys are brutal. Okay, so it hangs from a tree. Do you think it's on this tree right here then? Or is it over here on the side? Kind of. I think I have seen that. Isn't it like right over here? Right over there? Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. I thought it was right over here. Yeah, see, that's 40 feet right there. Who's got Sam's killer shook? What does that mean? Man, people just type in things that are like really... But it was close up to not east. But it's so not east. Yeah, I just think it's over here. Right? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure he does. Why were you watching her go into the house? Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, get really into the details. Like, why were you going into the house? Why were you watching her? Why were you so concerned for her when she went in the house? And when you came in, you asked where she was, you say, right away. Why were you concerned for her? Or do you just always, I mean, it might be something she always does. I think a lot of parents do that. If they have let's say 2 or 3 older kids and then one really young kid, and then maybe you're always looking for that kid to make sure that kid's okay because they're so young. So none of you in there have any thoughts on the Summer Wells case? We might have to make this a short show then. Hey, thanks, Elisa Tingley. Or Tingy. Hope I said that right. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Hello, 309. Yeah, hello, who's this? Hello? Oh, you gotta unmute yourself. Hold on. There you go.
Hey, Grace. This account.
Hello, how's it going?
Oh, boy. How are you?
We just got another call coming in, so what do you got?
Well, it's whatever floats your boat. It's not Summer Wells. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So, and I'm going to make it not awkward this time with the pauses.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I did want to tell you the story of when I was 9 and I did get lured into a car. And I'm going to tell the story because I want parents to hear a good way for it not to happen. I was leaving school. This was like kind of a revenge, look at what I could maybe do sort of person. And I could go into that if you want me to, but that was their goal, okay?
Just do like a shorter version of a story.
I'm sorry?
Oh, well, I was just saying, let's just do like, short versions of stories.
Right. Yeah. I prefer that. Okay. So, and then you could ask me what you want to, but I'm a little nervous to call about this. It's a little frightening. So, okay. So I'm walking home from school. I'm at 9, and there's a car that pulls up next to me, and it's folks that I don't recognize, but they say my name, and they say, "Hey, Mary Lou." Okay. Your dad sent us, and we're supposed to pick you up after school, but I was a walker, and so anyhow, they continue to kind of say, like, they're not home, that kind of thing. So I do get into the car, and it's a man and a woman, and they're like kind of laughing around a little bit, but they're asking a lot of things about my father. And so they're asking about like my dog, and then they're leading, the car is going in the wrong direction from my house. And so the lady says this thing about my father, and that's like when I understand this is not okay. Like something did not feel right. So there was a house on the corner, and I just thought that it looked like a house that someone might babysit kids for, and I was like, I wanted out of the car now at that point. Like, they were kind of just laughing and being jovial, but they weren't being mean or doing anything odd to me, but like it was just the way they were talking about my dad. So I was like, well, I need to get out, and I then told them, hey, this is my babysitter's house right here. And the guy like laughed and was like, there's no babysitter there. Like, that was something that he said, but he goes, oh, it's whatever, or something. That's not his exact wording. So we pulled up to the stop sign right there at that corner, and that's when I was like, I'm getting out. So I was already opening up the door and getting out, and like at the stop, So I get out of the car, and I go across the street, and I pretend like I'm going up to this house, and then I kind of like duck around and get back to my home. Tell my parents. There's kind of this whole thing that goes on. The police got involved, but they didn't actually do anything. So there really wasn't anything that could be charged. But some folks around there, like, they knew who this person was very unhappy with that person. And like, we chased work a lot when I was growing up. So, you know, it was probably right after the school year ended, if not a week or two, that we moved. But my point is that, like I said, and another time, it sounds like you did get another caller. If you want, or if you do have questions, I could fill in those blanks on like why it was a revenge. But also, I just wanted to say that after that, my parents told me, like, you're not in any trouble for what happened. We're so glad you're home safe. And I was okay. They didn't do anything to me besides frighten me. But then what we did was, like, we had a code word, and we would change it around to be like, for us, we chose the holidays. So it would maybe be like Easter Bunny, Santa Claus. You know, I don't know if that's a great code word for everyone, but a couple years later, my mom's friend actually had to pick me up, and she was like, your mom told me you're going to be really nervous about this because, you know, of what happened. And I was just like, I did eventually get into her car, but it just took so much might. And I was like, I actually told her, I was like, we have to go back to the school and tell the teacher, because I'm so afraid that it would be something like the first time around, even though she had a code word. And so kind of my point in calling is like, yeah, it's a true crime story, but also, I mean, nothing really happened to me, but frightening. Although I want people to know that someone could really easily pull up like that and trick your kids. And it's not just like a one-time thing they do. They're very persistent. So what you want to do is have a code word or words or sentences, and even have maybe a backup if they're just feeling uncomfortable. And like I said, it was just my kid mind to say, can we go back to the school and talk to the teacher? And of course she was willing, because that was my mom's friend.
How old were you at the time? I got to get these other callers, but what's the?
I was 9.
9. Okay. Well,
yeah. So it was pretty easy. So just for folks and parents to know.
Code word.
You know, yeah, that's right. That's right, Gray. And that's my whole purpose in calling, because it's not it's not really that, it's not like any other calls that other people have, like with that,
yep,
you know, crescendo of something. I don't have it, but I want to help protect kids and parents. And I want them to know that that if you do take those steps, please do, because it is easier than you think. Yeah. And
all right. Okay, so everybody, code words.
That's what I got for you, Gray.
All right. Well, thanks for the creepy story, but at least you're okay.
Yeah.
And you know, what she's saying, everybody. Give a code word to your kids when they go out, and tell them if they don't have the code word, they don't get into their car.
Yeah, no matter what they say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep. Have a good one. Thanks for calling in.
See you chat. Bye-bye.
Oops. Yeah. 231. You're on. You got to turn off the radio audio though. Or not the radio, the YouTube. Hey, who's this?
Yep, it's Jennifer.
Yeah, well, you
got
to turn down the
right.
YouTube. I can still hear it.
Turn it down. Yep, I'm having my daughter do it right now. Sorry. Pause it. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to save you a little bit. But what I wanted to add is that the only thing about that story, I appreciated what she was saying there, but in that where you're looking right now and in that area, just my experience when my daughters were really young. One, I was living in actually a real, metropolitan area in Arizona. And long story short, when I had walked around a corner, someone was like lunging out of their car to grab you. I feel like if it weren't the minute that I ran around the corner, they stopped and they jumped back in the car. But I know it can happen that quick. I just find it hard to believe in that rural area that it can. And that's not me blaming anybody or putting anything like any blame on anybody. It's just the whole big picture with the interviews and all of that. My personal experience of literally with my own eyes almost watching her get kidnapped was just completely different. And it just seems like there's just a lot of people around when that usually happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think happened in this case? I think I'm trying to be diplomatic. I think allegedly that substance abuse has been overlooked. I think that opiate addiction is very powerful and can change the complete thinking, and it can slow down reaction time. And I'm wondering, at first I thought maybe it would be a little more diabolical, but I'm actually wondering at this point if it was completely an oops because of substance abuse. And that I mean, I don't mean to belittle it by saying oops. Well, I mean, that's what my thing is that, like, it was an accident and then covered up so that CPS wouldn't come in and take the rest of their kids. I mean, you can tell CPS has probably been aware of them over the years. I mean, they're in there right now.
Correct.
You know.
Yep. And I think there's a lot, I really do believe that hopefully isn't Texas, that was my question, isn't Texas EquiSearch coming in? Or have they already been in?
Yeah, well, it's like, it's Texas EquiSearch, but the branch over there is like, what, Midwest or something? I don't even know. But it's Texas EquiSearch. Just everybody referred to it as Texas EquiSearch. That's the name of the company.
Good point. Yeah, that's true.
They always want to, well, no, it's really no, it's not. It's under the umbrella of Texas EquiSearch. They're the ones that you donate to. So.
Yeah. And I also feel like when I watch Body Language, that Body Language is big to me. And when I watch that with some of the interviews, I just feel like, again, it's all about when you have the truth, it doesn't change. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What can you say what you think or no?
Well, I've said what I think. I think that there was probably an accident that happened at the property, and then Candace and the rest of them helped cover up something that happened. I think Don might not even be aware, like it happened before he got there, maybe.
Yeah, me too.
Nobody really knows. I mean, I think it might just be Candace and Candy who know the answer to the question. And then after that, I think, that if the niece's stories are true, then you start looking at maybe Don doing something. We don't know if he was ever at work. And then the last one would be just an abduction. That somebody literally, like, maybe she happened to wander off and the wrong person. Because we've actually covered stories on here. This one girl was driving with her boyfriend, and they got in a fight in the car. So she goes, "I want to go walk," and so she gets out. Like, don't ever do that, everybody. By the way. Don't go, "I'm mad and I want to walk." Don't do that shit. You're stupid when you do that.
Yeah.
So anyways, she got out of the car.
Amen.
The boyfriend drove away, and she disappeared. And everybody thought, oh, the boyfriend must have done something. They got in a fight. Well, no, she was a serial killer. Actually, just happened to be driving by and got her and killed her. Okay, so that actually happens. they're opportunists, like they drive around, they
Right.
see. Now, this would be a weird place because why would you be driving around on like Ben Hill Road somewhere, It's just kind of it's not like, hey, here's a good spot to go on Ben Hill Road. It's like in the middle of nowhere, really.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yes, I'm sorry.
So it's not really
But
a
that's why I
place
was
where
laughing last
it's not
night
really a
to our
place
neighbor.
where an opportunistic killer would go hanging out. I think that we've been saying this since the beginning. It's really obvious stuff.
Correct.
You don't have to be a profiler or work in law enforcement to look at this place and go, "Wow, how in the hell did somebody even know she lived there?" Okay? Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, and that's why I was laughing last night too, because it is true. What did you think of Hunter? I found him pretty damn credible.
Well, I thought he said a lot of inaccurate things. So you might
okay,
want
I
to, you
didn't
might
catch that.
think feel like he's credible. I just don't really care that much because it, like I was saying
Doesn't add
earlier,
to it.
we see Summer in the car while it's being driven
Yes.
home. So the people responsible for the disappearance of Summer and the reason she's not here do not lie on Hunter or his mom, because they're not around.
That is correct.
I mean,
Yep.
Hunter would have had to been driven back over there by the mom to have something to do with it. Okay.
Yep.
So it never happened. So I just think it's weird that the only thing that's possible is later on when you find Summer, and let's say if she's not alive, then you do an autopsy and it turns out, oh my God, she was given a drug, and then it might lead back to who's responsible for giving her the drug, and then maybe that's something. Regarding H and the mother. I mean, we don't really know. I'm just saying, regardless, Hunter and Allison have nothing to do with the actual physical disappearance
Exactly.
of Summer. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's weird. You
I
get
agree.
people to still go, I don't know about that. Well, show me anything that shows me. Show me anything
Exactly.
that shows that Hunter somehow miraculously beamed himself back into that car while it
I
was being
know.
driven home and had something to do with it. See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line right there. And I mean, my gut feeling, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just my biggest thing, I definitely don't think she's with us anymore, God rest her soul, but I think, and that's just my personal opinion, but definitely my biggest concern at this point would be not finding her,
Yeah.
just for all purposes. There was one more thing I wanted to say not about the interview. The other thing is that really threw me for a loop, and that's being a parent of teenagers. This TikTok thing, that was definitely because my kids are just constantly on this TikTok. So when I knew somewhat about that, when the minute that they told me that there was a TikTok, for some reason from that point on, that kind of threw me for a big loop, because I feel like maybe that whole thing was backtracked from that time on.
Yeah, well, I don't think there was any fudging of. You have TikToks. They said that the 309 was the photograph, and then the video would probably have been later, where she thought she was going to take another photograph, but it recorded video, and you see her Summer in the back of the car while it's moving. So it's actually heading home at this point. It's on its way home. Hunter's out of the picture.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, I swapped subjects on you. Because one of the things, I don't know if you caught, but one of the things I noticed, especially, like I said, those opiates, they change you. They'll change who you are, what you do, everything. I've witnessed it. And one thing I noticed is, did you notice where she turned around and her mom told her to turn back around or something, and she said, I want to make sure her head's up.
No, she wanted to make sure her arm was up.
Is that what it was?
She wanted to take a picture with her arm up, and it had fallen down. And she was like, I wanted a picture with her arm up. So I think her arm was kind of up, like her elbow up, and it kind of looked kind of cute. And then it sort of slipped down like this, and it didn't look like that anymore. That's my opinion.
Got it.
I don't think it was like way up here or anything crazy like that.
Okay. Now, do you feel? I mean, everything. I won't get into last night out of respect for you. I don't want to get anybody going. But do you feel she's alive in the car?
I do. I think she was alive there.
I do too.
She's got color in her lips and everything.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, I wanted your opinion on that.
Yep.
Well, thank you for all you do, and okay, I can get chastised all over, but don't stop being you. You're funny.
All right. Yeah. Well,
you are, and your bottom line is to bring all the BS out and to stick to the facts.
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of this channel.
And that's the only motive you ever have.
The purpose of this channel is to look at cases in a rational way, not the crazy, weirdest thing first. Okay, and then we also raise funds to help support my channel, so I can keep doing this every single day like I do, and send in a ton of money to charities at the end of each month. Okay, so that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I got to, every day has to be kind of the same. We've got hundreds of people watching. We just got to keep on going, because at the end of the, we're going to do probably another 3. We've done $500 already this month. I'll probably do another
Ocean Wave.
3,000 here at the end of the month. I'm going to send 1,000 to Texas EquiSearch, maybe even tomorrow if I get Tim Miller on. And then after that, we'll do another 2,000 at the end of the month to, various other charities. Okay, so that's the, one of the biggest purposes, because we actually make a difference, no matter what, by doing that. Okay.
You're right.
Hey, thank you, Linda Howland. Hold on. Thank you, Linda Howland. Dodie. Man, I don't know if I can say that one, Dottie. And Amber Maiden. See, it says Dottie.
Appreciate all you do,
Zikowitz.
Gray.
Is that right?
Love the Freak family. Heart.
Did I say that right?
Appreciate all
Zikowitz?
of the awesome freaks. Heart.
Thank you. All right.
That's cute.
I'm going to turn down the...
Well, and you don't ever let that stop you, and don't let any of the stupidity or any of that ever stop you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try not to.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
I know, and you were in my prayers last night, because
all that
ridiculous.
All that craziness. Yeah, the thing is what the last night deal was. Here's what I can say. If somebody saw that we were putting our faces next to milk, and then they saw like Summer over there, and they had no context whatsoever, I could see you thinking we were actually making fun of like that whole situation with her in the car. However, if you just spent 2 minutes listening to what we were doing, where we were actually, there was this group of people that were doing experiments with the milk jug to see how cold it would have been. To me, it was lunacy. So we thought it was funny, and so people sent in pictures of themselves doing experiments with the milk. Had nothing to do with Summer at all. And so if you're one of the people out there that saw it without any context, I will say I'm sorry to you. However, if you actually watched the show and you saw it and you still felt upset, then there's something wrong with you. Okay, so that's the truth.
Agreed. Agreed. And it took me, I think, you have so many comments, but it took me 8 minutes, and I mean, I was busting out laughing. And
that's hilarious.
See, when you're this involved, and it is hilarious. I mean, and when you're this involved, and it's that serious of a thing that you're putting your heart and soul into it at any cost, especially, I mean, you're working your ass off. So I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us have to have that release, and you give us that opportunity. So do not lose that sarcasm. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, hold on a second. Hey, thank you, Lanky Tor, Baby Brown Bear Cub, and thank you. We'll get to that one again. Thank you, Linda Howell, and thank you, Amber Maiden. But I don't know how to say that name. Did I say it right? Zikowitz. Did I say that one right? Help me out with that one. Do a phonetic spelling for me. It's spelled D-Z-I-K-I-E-W-I-C-Z. Probably definitely Eastern Europe, I would say.
I was just going to ask you, is that German?
I think it's more like more of a Russian type.
Oh,
you know,
Russian,
like that
yeah.
type.
Okay.
It's not Russian, but I think it's like over in that area. You know.
Okay. Huh.
Maybe
wow,
like
you have a lot of viewers from all over.
Yeah, we got people from. I was actually. Yeah, I was gonna actually say Polish. That was gonna be my guess.
You.
But it's Lithuanian.
Really?
There you go. So Russia was closer. All right. Cool.
Wow,
Did I say it?
cool.
Did I say it? Okay. Dikovitz. Okay, there you go.
And there it is.
I was almost close. Well, not really. I was.
You were.
I said.
You were halfway there.
Well, no, but I said
halfway there, Greg.
Well, I pronounced the Z. I made it a Z sound instead of a D. So I guess if I had said Dikovitz, that would have been pretty close. But it's Vitz, so it's Dikovitz.
You are actually on the names quite good.
Well,
I've noticed that.
maybe a couple times, but not
That's
in general.
funny.
But anyways, I'm gonna go use the facilities.
I
and
want
then I'm
you
gonna
to
come
hang
back.
in there, though.
Oh, I will. Don't worry about
You
that.
hang in there and keep rejuvenating yourself and keep it up, because we all thank you and we all love you, okay?
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, Gray. Talk to you again.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks for calling in.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, see that, Jennifer? Jennifer, I'm going to go use the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ding ding ding. Homemade tacos. There we go, everybody. It was already sort of a mini vacation there. Oh. And you guys call in if you got more comments you want to make about the Summer Wells case, or maybe any of the other cases we were talking about, or something. Or well, okay, this is pretty funny. Listen to this. All right, the other night, my wife's sleeping, right? And we have these two pillows. One's kind of narrow, and the other one's square, but they both sort of feel similar. Like they have that same sort of feathery, you know, I don't know how to explain it. They're like fur pillows. I use one to rest my arm on. But she, when she got up in the middle of the night, well, I was grabbing one of hers. I didn't know it was hers. I was trying to pulling it towards me, and I went, "Oh yeah, it was hers." So I started shoving it back over, And then she just pops up like delirious, you know, when you're sleeping, and grabs a pillow and goes, "It's mine! It's mine! It's mine!" It was the funniest damn thing in the history. Like, we both started laughing. Then she sort of came to, like, woke up, and then we both sat there and laughed. And then I even was like watching a show, and I kept laughing again. And I just was laughing. And she was trying to sleep, and she was, "What are you laughing at?" I go, "Just the way you just did that." Man, if I had that on film, it would have been gold. That sucker would have got like 87 billion views on YouTube. "It's mine!" Grabs it by both ends and pounds it on the... It's mine! Oh, God, that was just the greatest thing in the world. Yep, so this is the time where you guys can buy me drinks and whatnot to help support the channel, and, you know, the bigger deal. I mean, I know I mean, probably most of you is the charities at the end of the month, okay? Although I think a lot of you know that, you know, supporting me allows me to keep doing the shows every single night of the week. I do 7 nights a week, 3 hours a day, and very rarely have a day off or anything like that, which is kind of weird. But hey, thanks Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Carolina Carla, not enough for a pina colada at a resort, but, you know, maybe at all inclusive. Yeah, so if you guys want to call in, just
Flying
call in and
saucer,
you'll be
alien,
loaded up on the
cow,
side. If
corn,
not,
circle
then
for a
not.
cheap drink.
Dun, 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 dun. I know one of the problems is you got these. You know, there's a lot of other channels covering the Candace Wells case, so it sort of sucks the oxygen out of the entire.
Not
true
enough
crime
for
community.
a pina colada at a resort, but maybe at an all-inclusive.
All right. Yeah, but that wasn't me, Danita. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just a pillow. I sort of barely pulled it towards me, and I went, "Oh wait, that's hers," and shoved it back. And she goes, sits up. "That's mine." And then she went to the bathroom and came back, and then we started laughing for like 20 minutes. Hey, thanks, VP. Oh, a fuzzy navel. What's in those? Isn't there like orange juice or something? Or no, wait, what is that? They're pink, aren't they?
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca.
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Have a fuzzy navel on me.
Look, I'm catching leaves. Oh yeah. Well, I definitely like when she watches a horror movie or something, and then in the middle of the night, I'm still watching TV because after I do my show, I'm just kind of winding down, and a lot of times I'll watch shows until 2 in the morning or something, and I'll look over there and I'll hear this. No, and I'll just go over and start shaking her up. What's going on? You know, try to get her out of her nightmare. And then I ask her what happens, and this gets us to laugh too, because she'll say something like, "There was this big bunny with big ears, and it was running after me, and it was, you know."
No Dutch oven.
Really weird stuff. Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor. Baby brown bear cub. Yeah, she has nightmares, but she loves horror movies. Isn't that weird? Hey, Borgie, just give it a shot, okay? This is a anxiety-free zone right here, okay? Just pretend that I'm one of your buddies and you're calling up. Give it a shot, okay? I think you'll be able to do it. It'll be really easy for you. You could do it. Just pretend I'm one of your buddies. Yep, pillow thief. What else you want to call me? Okay. I think you could, but I understand. I used to have anxiety sucks. You know. I have, let's see, right before my brother died, and then after he died, right before that, I'd always have these really weird, irregular heartbeats and stuff. Thank you, Alicia Powers. Thank you.
Heart.
Oh, do you guys, by the way, did you see the new emoji? I don't think any of you guys saw it. You! Look at that one, huh? It's the fly. It'll bring back memories every single time. Yeah, there it is. I feel you're missing. I don't know what that means. There it is. See, we always make emojis about something that was funny, right? So that'll always remind you of that funny fly story, right? Anyways, I'm going to get out of here, this screen. Thank you guys for the mini vacation there. Oops. Go to this one over here. Yeah, I remember when I used to get anxiety attacks. Man, you feel like you're dying or something. It's really a strange feeling. I remember one time I was fully clothed and just jumped in a shower. Because it's all mental, right? So what I would do is jump in the shower, get really cold, and just change my mindset. Or just slap myself in the face. I know a lot of you guys would like to do that too. But I would just, bam! Like that, and then boom, and then like you're focusing on that, and then all of a sudden, okay, you know, it takes a little bit longer. You got to lay down and stuff. Yeah, my brother was my fishing buddy. Yeah. How'd you know that, Richard? How'd you know that? Yeah. So hopefully Texas EquuSearch comes out and does something. You know, here's what I think would be if she's not alive, I hope it's something where it was just totally accidental and she wandered off somewhere. And it would be interesting too. Wouldn't it be really weird if she just walked, she was over here, something happened, she kind of walked over here and got lost and just kind of wandered around, and then she fell into a hole somewhere out in the middle of the woods. And wouldn't it be weird, because think about how strange it would be of all the crazy crap that's been discussed in the last month, if that is the outcome. You'll have to look at yourself and go, wow. That's wild. All this, the people that were thrown under the bus, all the people. It would be really bizarre to see that happen. I don't think that's very good odds that she wandered off, since she wouldn't do that. But yeah, I don't think that's what happened. Yeah, like Harley Dilly is a perfect example. We brought that up early on. Like, what if that's the same scenario? Just some weird place that she wandered into. You know? Maybe one of her dogs ran off. She chased it, and the dog came back, and they didn't even think twice about it. They didn't know that she went and followed the dog. Yeah. We don't need spell checkers. You're fine the way you spelled it. Everyone knew what you meant. Are looking up from the trees. I mean looking up into the trees? I don't know what that means. Like she climbed a tree and got stuck, or... I think if she hid from police, she would maybe came back. Yeah, I get what you're saying. What does that mean, Carla? Have you aren't a pull tonight? What does that mean? I'm learning girl code, but that one passes by my brain without me knowing what that means. All right. Well, what's a question? Somebody else wanted to know. Okay. Just a second. How do you close down the... let me move this back over. Like once I open an emoji, it covers it takes over the screen. Did Summer Wells just wander off? Okay, this is just this is like a two-parter. Did Summer Wells just wander off? Well, I won't say the word just. Did Summer Wells wander off? Okay, so there you go. Go ahead and answer that one. Hey, thank you, Daryl Montgomery. Okay, there you go. It's going to be a two-parter. Yeah, you're supposed to answer the question, not in the chat. Nobody cares what you have to say in the chat. Answer the question up above by selecting one of the answers. Yeah, you just hit the super chat button below there, Jillian. But thank you. Hello? 206, you're on.
Hey, Gray, this is Kit.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, not much. I had a yard sale today and nobody came.
Well, maybe it was because you were selling only mortuary stuff, That might
No. I had art and T-shirts that I had designed. I had cupcakes and cake and vintage items. It was awesome. But
crazy.
Somebody took my yard signs down.
Well, that's crazy, though.
I know. I was mad.
I mean, you had a lot. Not one soul showed up. Did you?
I had one old guy show up, and he was kind of cranky. And then some of my friends came by, so that was really nice. But it was a nice day. But it was just nice to sit under the credenza. But I wanted to call because I have a kind of a strange rant, I guess. So somebody showed up at my sale today, and she knows that I was the victim of a violent crime, and she knows that I was almost killed by my boyfriend. And
sorry to hear that.
What I get really tired of is people asking, why did you stay? Why didn't you leave? Or they say, I would never let somebody do that.
They always, the holier than thou types, yeah.
Yeah, so I listened to that for like 20 minutes. And she says, I really want to understand. I really just want to understand. Like, why would that happen? Why would you let somebody do that to you? I mean, I had to like defend myself for,
yeah. Well,
so,
well, I mean, the thing is, did you have to sit there and keep answering it, or did you?
Yeah.
But she never got it, right?
No, No, and I get this a lot, and I guess I just wanted to rant about it for a moment because, you know, again, as a victim of a very violent crime, I don't get, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I never get that.
Hey, I just did that. I just did that right when you said it.
You did it. But you're the rare exception.
Oh, come on.
No, you are. I'm telling the truth. You are the rare exception. Because most people say that same thing that this person did today, and that's blaming me for what happened. And no one ever says, "Oh wow, that piece of shit shouldn't abuse people." It's oh, and I also get, why didn't you report this guy so we don't have to worry about him?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know but what do you say? I mean, I don't know if you want me, are you wanting me to say, well, what are you saying for your answers for the questions, or what?
No, I just kind of want to put it out there to people, I guess, to be kind to people that have like gone through that, and not put us on the hot seat, and just be like you know, you have a lot of empathy for people, and I really can tell. But most of the American public, when they hear that you've been like the victim of domestic violence, they will the judgment that we get is often worse than the crime that we actually went through.
You know, I actually think that, like, let's see, probably 8, 9, 10 years ago, I might have sounded similarly, though. That's the thing. See, people don't know.
Oh.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying because I've been covering true crime, right? And over time, you know what's going on here. I'm not like confused anymore, right?
Right.
So some people just don't have a clue. They're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why would, you know, if it was me, you know?" And it's like, well.
Yeah, and there's reasons for things. I mean, people don't come forward because they're afraid for their lives, their very lives. Even though their abuser is like, you know, my abuser is teaching college, so he's a well-respected member of society that tried to kill me in my own house.
Oh, you were talking to me. You called in about this once, didn't you?
Yeah. My ex-boyfriend tried to kill me in my house 4 years ago.
And he works as a he's
a college professor.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, I think you were telling us that. It was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Yeah, he teaches school, and yeah, he got away with what he did, and and I didn't report him because I was afraid for my life, because he threatened my life after what he did. So he says I have nothing to lose. I'll fucking kill you if you tell anybody, because I don't want to lose my job. So it's like a real thing. Like we have to go through a lot of shit in order to, you know, stay alive after somebody does something like that. So I'm just, you know, just telling people to, you know, be kind.
The STFU, right? Be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't be sympathetic, and if I want to tell you, then I will. But you know, you don't need to be asking me, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Right?
Yeah, and also like the people that say, well, I would never let that happen to me. Really? You know, it will never happen to you until it happens to you.
Well, the same people say with the hot car deaths, they all say the same thing. You know, when they leave a baby in the car, every single time, people go, "Oh, how do you leave a baby in your car? I would never do that." Well, that's going to happen to them the next week, because that's exactly who it happens to. Everybody who says that exact same thing, you know.
Anyway, I could go on and on about people being jackasses, but I'll just stop now. But anyway, I'm moving to Tulsa in like 2 weeks, so I'll donate when I can. I love your show. I just wanted to call in. So thanks for taking my call.
What are you doing over there? Are you gonna start a Like you're.
Oh, in Tulsa?
Yeah.
I'm going back to school. I'm finishing my mortician program.
Oh, okay. You're. Are you like on summer break or something, and you're just going back? Or?
No, I had a really hard pandemic. I was working as a funeral apprentice in Missouri when the pandemic broke out, and my boss wasn't protecting us, so I left my job as an apprentice, and my school closed at the same time.
Wow.
So I've had to wait for a year to get back into mortician school.
Well, it seems weird that it would close during a pandemic with all the deaths
Oh
that
yeah,
there were. You'd think
I've been
ironic.
through the gamut this pandemic. So
Well,
I've
it seems
just
kind of
been
ironic
like,
because
waiting.
there's a lot of people dying. Like you would need morticians, right?
Yeah. Well, during the pandemic, I worked as a contact tracer for the state of Washington.
Yeah. I had somebody just donated to my channel saying, "For Kit the Survivor." There you go. Oh.
Oh, I don't think Summer Wells wandered off. That's my opinion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a 27-year-old kid. You know, I mean, my son's 27, and just being a parent.
Aren't you 27 yourself? I mean, you look like you're.
I'm 51.
Oh, come on, really? You just sent you sent a milk picture in, right?
Yes.
Oh, come on! You're not 51 years old.
No, I was born in 1969. I'm 51. My son is 27.
That's crazy. Well, you didn't look. You didn't
Yeah,
look.
well,
I thought you were like 25.
I don't know. I walk 5 miles a day. Maybe that's why I look young.
Well, maybe that's it.
I don't know. But I'll let you go. But thanks for taking my call.
Well, thanks for calling in. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that was Kit. Yeah. Hope you guys totally got what she was saying. Yeah, a lot of times you're trapped in situations like that too. Especially if you are married and the man is the breadwinner, and you're just maybe a stay-at-home mom and stuff like that. And it's really hard to get out because you don't have any means to do anything, and especially if they've been controlling all of your income and any access to money. And then they do the whole thing, the apologizing. And let's see. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yes, everybody, I'll tell the story again. See, what I would say what Kit is doing is exactly what I always tell everybody. There's an Ann Landers. My mom cut it out like 30 years ago. Ann Landers was asked the question. This man asked, "Listen, I'm 40 years old, and I would like to become a doctor, but it's going to take me 7 years of schooling to become a doctor." And I think they said, what do I do? And she says, you know what the greatest answer was? She said, "How old will you be in 7 years if you're not a doctor?" Boom. That's it. So listen, if you want to do something, everybody, go do it. Anybody can do whatever the hell they want to go do. Just go do it. And start kicking some ass, all right? Well, you'll be 47 even if you're not a doctor, so why not do it? Okay? Yeah, that was a pretty amazing comeback. That was the shortest reply you'd ever see, but it says about 1 billion things in one tiny sentence, Let's see. Yeah, right. Now, like, here's the thing. Anybody tomorrow, if you went, God, I wish I could learn Python computer language or something. I've always wanted to learn that. Well, you can get on YouTube and there's literally people who make 50 videos in a row teaching you how to go from the very start, getting the free program, downloading it, being able to do basic stuff, and then moving it all the way up. It's really pretty amazing. That's how I learned how to use Python, by YouTube videos. And now I use it all the time for my work. And by the way, the lines are still open, everybody. If you want to call in, we can still be talking about whatever the hell you want to talk about. You know, the summer wells is what people have been talking about. I know that my channel isn't one of the ones that's sort of like the place to go to talk about summer wells. And I'm, you know, in some ways I'm happy about that, because I don't want to build up a ton of subscribers from the summer wells case. It doesn't work, because as soon as it's over, they're like, yeah, I'm not really that interested. Some people are only interested in one case, or just the really big sensationalistic ones, not the small ones that we focus in on all the time. Oh, by the way, I did get in the Stoltzfus, I have the full press conference. I don't know if you guys are interested in watching that, but they, you know, gets into some details on what happened. Yeah, me too. I would love to only cover cold cases and have everybody really interested in those. But it just isn't like that. It's weird. People like this sensationalistic drama crap over and over and over. Yeah, I could probably load that up if it would open. Okay. I'll fast forward it past the part that we watched the other night. One of the freaks sent the link. That was from yesterday's. Hey, thanks, Liz Parsons. Don said the searcher's dog scented Summer to the road. What do you think? Yeah, wasn't he just saying that? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me end that. The poll up there. Hold on. I did have another question I wanted to ask. Yeah, but I mean, how do you know when it scented her there, right? Because dogs scent wherever you go. I don't think, like, let's say earlier in the day she'd gone over there. Or maybe when she got home she went over there and then she went to the garden. How do you know when specifically the dog is picking up the scent from? Okay, so only 9% of the people said that Summer Wells just walked off. Okay, so then out of those 9%, was she abducted after wandering off? All right, there you go.
years.
Okay. So this is after the 71 years part. So she wanders off, and then was she abducted? So you guys, if you didn't answer it correctly on the first one, I said, did she wander off? That's just part of it. You might say, yes, I think she did wander off. But the part B was that she was abducted. But you didn't, a lot of you, 90% of you said no, she didn't wander off. Huh? Yeah. Justo Smoker. What an idiot. He sounds like an absolutely horrendous human being. He was actually driving around looking for Amish women to abduct. Yeah. You don't think she wandered off, and you don't think she was abducted. You know. How about this? Let me type this in. Given the fact that we can... Oh, I gotta get rid of this one. Okay, so end poll... okay, 19% said yes, she was abducted after wandering off. Now I can't remember what my next question was going to be. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Here's a poll question for you guys. Did Summer make it home after dropping off Hunter? No, she wasn't the one, obviously, that dropped off Hunter, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm kind of confused at why there's only 84% yeses up there. Okay, I'll do another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why can't you answer that? Easy. Okay. So only 78% said yes. Alright, so here we go. Now I've got another one. Did something happen? Let's see. Was Summer... Wait. Okay. There's the next one. Did something happen to Summer between Hunter's house and making it home? Because Hunter and them have nothing to do with it, everybody. I wish I could get this through to your guys' head. He has nothing to do with the disappearance of the physical body of Summer. Meaning, he has nothing to do with somebody else doing something to her. Okay? Now, yeah, if he got on the phone and was like, hey, you need to do something. He still doesn't have anything to do with physically moving her somewhere. Man, you guys got to be consistent. I can tell by the poll answers that it's really wishy-washy, changing around. Look at this one. No, 67%. Okay. So of those people, when some people say yes, they think that while Summer and while Candace and Candy were driving, they noticed, oh my God, something's wrong with her, and then they put her body somewhere, right? That's definitely something that's possible, except at that point, you'd have to have the kids all lying for you. Okay? And they've taken the kids aside. You'd think that they would... Yeah, well, then I'm not talking to you, Jennifer. I would have been talking to the people who aren't, right? Why do you guys have to tell me if you're being consistent or not? There's a lot of people that aren't because of the answers to the questions. Well, you can't. You don't know if she did or not, Aletha. You don't know the answer to that question. That's your opinion that she didn't make it home. Okay, but Aletha, she didn't make it home. However, she did leave. It was after Hunter was dropped off that you think something happened to her, right? No, well, I mean, when you say is it possible, anybody can do anything, right? I'm not into the whole drug thing. I don't believe Hunter in his comment, it's done. You know, I don't believe that stuff. That he randomly walked in, saw one text message out of the garbage, you know, pulled it out of the trash. Come on. Why would he makes it sound like he was a detective before even thinking about doing anything like that. You see, that doesn't make any sense. It's like I could see him doing it now. If Summer was missing, and then there was a phone call, he'd want to go check to see what was going on, right? Okay, but now he's acting like he was suspicious at the time. No way, man. No way. No chance. He was just a kid swimming, having a drink, you know. Yeah. And by the way, I mean, never mind. Shit. Okay, anyways, I'm going to play this. But I know there's a lot of other channels out there, but I hope you guys continue to support my channel. I see a lot of you on other channels, you know, supporting them, and then it doesn't come back over here anymore. So it's like, you know, I know what's going. You know, I know that there's these really neat, interesting new people, really quick, but it's all going to die down when Summer Wells is gone. Okay, so we're going to keep on doing what we're doing all the time.
In a state correctional institution, which ultimately was imposed by the court today. In addition, as a result of this conviction, Smoker now faces an additional sentence of up to 17.5 years.
Let me go to the
ATV, submarines, helicopters, and ground penetrating radar.
All right, let me. I think it's about right.
Without a trace. Searches by.
I will just play all of it after that. Okay, let me get this one. 301, you're on.
Hi, Gray. It's me, Shogun.
Hey,
again.
What's going on, Shogun?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just sitting in the barn and trying to listen and work at the same time. But I keep going back to what you said about the right questions not being asked, because I think what makes me think that a stranger did not pick her up is, I think, like Candace's answers. don't sit well with me. I think that someone should ask her, was Summer accustomed to going outside and playing by herself? And a lot of people said that the kids were outside playing and kind of on their own. Wasn't that what's been said? Gray?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't remember. I think she plays outside when the kids are outside. I don't really know. Nobody really knows how she was normally. Are you still there?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I thought I've heard, people say that they were tended to, that no one was watching them or paying attention to that. What was said?
I mean, what was said was that she was out in the yard doing, gardening.
No, not that day.
Yeah, okay, well, that's the only day that matters, though, right? Like, that's the day.
No, it's not the only day.
Well, it is the only day that matters, because that's the day she went missing. Because she went downstairs, and you might say that it matters that... Huh?
I'm basing my on this. If on a regular, let's say last week or the week before, whatever, if she was used to going outside by herself, why was her mother watching her why was she watching her go in the house?
Well, I know what you're saying. Yeah, because that's kind of weird, like, hey, I got to walk her out right to the door, then I got to walk her, and then I'm going to go make sure that the kids are watching her, and then right when I get in the house, I call for her to see what she's doing, and that's when I realized she was gone. I mean, but maybe that's what you do. We don't know exactly. I don't think we've heard, the kids say, oh, no, we're just always playing around, or anybody. I haven't heard anything about that, so.
Well, that's why I'm saying be one of the first questions that I would ask her is, did Summer go outside and play a lot by herself? Mm-hmm. And if the mother says yes, if this had said yes, then I would have said, well, why were you watching her so intently that day?
Well, maybe when she would play outside by herself, it would be where she could see her, but she'd be outside playing by herself. I mean, it's just one of those things, like, I get what you're saying. I mean, it'd be kind of, a better question is, why were you so concerned with her that day? You wanted to make sure she was safe downstairs, you want to make this, and see what her reply would be. It would be, well, I'm always like that, I always want to make sure that she's safe wherever she is because she's so young compared to the other kids. Then that would be kind of a reasonable answer, right? But you never hear anybody asking anything. It's just kind of weird, the questions. You get the same basic stuff with maybe one little tiny extra detail, but I want more. I want to get to like every single. That is so important. Is the gardening until she went inside the house. All of that stuff. After that, we don't know what happened. She goes down the stairs, they say. The kids know. They were inside playing. Sometimes it makes you wonder if something happened with the grandmother and Candace is covering up that and didn't tell Dawn the same thing. Who the hell knows?
Right.
Because then it's like she's covering up, but she's not going to rat out her mom, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If something did happen, I mean, a lot of mothers would lie for their children. There's no way I think the kids know anything because you can't. Children aren't going to continue to lie. Eventually, they're going to say something. And I don't think Hunter knows a damn thing. I think you're right about that. But, I question, okay, you got home, you pulled up, was Summer awake by this time? Did she get out of the car? Did she go in the house and change her clothes?
Yeah, I want all that stuff. I want to know about the whole ride home. where the video was taken, when he got home, and sort of get like, hey, when he got home, how did she get out of the car? What did she do? You know, right then, because then it'd be hard to think of something if she wasn't in the car at that time, right?
Right.
Like,
and
it'd be
no
hard to
one
just quickly.
has answered that.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah. All.
You know,
yeah.
how-
See, all we get is this miraculous. They're driving and then they're gardening. Like, what happened?
Right.
What happened in between
And in
the drive and
between.
gardening? I want to know everything in one of those things, and that's
Right.
where it matters. You know?
Where did the flowers come from? You know, are all the gardening tools stored there? Did Grandma bring her own stuff? Do y'all normally, you know, plant flowers? Is this something you would normally do at this time of the year? All that kind of stuff. Like, what, you know, did she change her clothes? Did she go outside and plant flowers with the long sleeve shirt on and all that? None of that. I mean, and that's just why I'm stuck on Candace. Just because. And where did she go for 2 minutes?
Well, it's also
Remember?
like this whole well, that she said she. Well, no, she went to put the brace on the mom, right? And then she said it took her 3 to 5 minutes. Then she went back in the house. But I think that 3 to 5 minutes could be a much longer number, but she made it 3 to 5 to make it seem like she was a lot more doting and, you know, and really like caring. Because again,
right.
If CPS is something she wants to be, no, I'm you know, I was always checking on her. I just went right over here 3 to 5 minutes, and then it could have been an hour. Okay, then it opens up the door for somebody. You know, she might have wandered out the back, and that's a lot of time for somebody. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
It gets kind of crazy. There's so many different options, but you have to get the correct information. I mean, they were home for 2 hours before any phone calls were starting to be made about her being missing.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff that could have been going on there.
Right, like, you know, what happened in that time and just all those details, and it just judging from, well, they took the kids away today. So
well, yeah, well, my thing is the CPS thing is a big deal. The kids being taken from CPS. Now, apparently Don blew up, you know, he got really angry at something, and they took him. But I think that it's a little more than that, you know, like parents blow up all the time. I think it's like I think they got some sort of information, and I think they think that the kids are probably in some sort of in danger. And, you know, why they would think that, I don't know, but I think it might mean that there was an investigative piece of information that came forward that is sort of pointing to one of the parents, perhaps.
Right, and that adds to...
Possible.
Did you watch everything that Summer did? Adds to my theory is that she didn't, because... they just took the kids away. Now, it might not be for what we're even thinking about, you know, what we think it might be. But I just don't see her as a doting mother watching everything Summer does. So I didn't get that impression. My impression was the kids, the hollow, you know, they were right there playing and doing all their stuff with no parents around. The other thing is if Candace is doing drugs, she's not watching those kids. It's just not happening. So that's kind of where I'm at, is that I think she knows something. I don't think she did anything to her intentionally. I don't think that at all. I think it was, you know, some kind of an accident.
Yeah.
I prayed, you know, she's down the street in somebody's house. That would be wonderful. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's all I had to say.
Yeah, but listen, everybody. Shogun said that she would have divorced me for my fly deal. What's going on there? Come on.
Gray, I mean, come on now. Oh, I mean, when you said you put that fly thing, you know, because I had things at the barn.
Yeah.
And I can't stand them. I mean, as soon as somebody would put that thing out, you know, it'd be a boarder or somebody that spent whatever it was, I would take that sucker and throw it as far away from the farm as I could.
There's like 3.5 inches worth of flies in the new one, because now I'm scared to touch it so I don't get, you know, screamed at again by all of you. I just got to leave it there forever. Yeah, well, I put it in the microwave, right? There was 10 flying around. I put duct tape over the 4 holes. I put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It killed the remaining flies that were flying around. And then I poured it all into a strainer, leaving the flies in the strainer. Then I dumped the flies in the toilet. And then I had some more juice back into the...
Oh, no.
Yeah, but for a second round. But that second round turned into the greatest fly attractor in the history of mankind.
Oh my God! But when it microwaved, wasn't there an odor that permeated your home?
No, because I had the duct tape on it, so I think it was pretty good. But yeah, that stuff in there, it didn't smell good at all. I got to be honest with you.
Oh my God! I mean, I can't handle that. I just. It would ruin my day. Like if I'm in the barn doing something.
Wait! It sounds like it sounds like it would have ruined your life. Okay. Not your day. What do you mean your day? You wanted a divorce.
I'm always the one. Yeah. I am always on fart patrol. Don't fart around me because I will leave. I'll just leave the room or whatever.
Oh yeah.
No. Okay. That is equivalent to putting the toilet plunger in the microwave. That's what I would think of. You put the plunger in there.
Toilet
it's the same
plunger?
thing.
I don't know.
Like the plunger from the toilet.
But why would you put a plunger in the mic? I had a purpose. I had to kill the flies that were flying around still. Okay?
All you had to do was stuff it in a bag or dig up some dirt or put it in a hole or something.
I'm with you.
Double bag it.
I'm with you, Shogun. Gray's weird, man.
Yeah, well, I guess Mary Lou's on your team.
No way. Your poor wife. I mean, and I know she had a heart attack when you put that fly in the sink.
Yeah, look at So you know there's a double sink. She's over there cleaning dishes, and I go over and tap out the the one remaining fly into the sink. It seemed so rational at the time, but after telling it again, it was one of the worst. It's just the craziest thing I've ever.
I mean, honestly, how did you come up with that?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Genius. The way you worded it, like, how did you come up with that? Wow. You know? Well, look at it. It just came to me at the time. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, when I told my boyfriend he was up on a ladder doing something, busy, and when I told him he stopped what he was doing, when I said, Gray put it in the microwave, he turned around, he was like, what?
Wait, you could have injured the guy. What are you doing?
He just shook his head because he thinks we're all crazy anyway, so, But it was...
Here's the thing. I think I think to myself, if I tell the story again, will it somehow sound better the next time? You know, it's like when a kid asks their parent if they can have a box of cookies, and they say no. Well, they come back and they reword it again. And it's still no. And then they reword it again, and it's still no, and it's still no, and it's still... But I feel like there's a way, if I say it a certain way, I might be able to weave it together where...
Ain't happening. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Gray. I'm sorry. That was some crazy stuff.
No, you can say it. You can say it. You can say it.
You know it was crazy. You know it was crazy now.
Well, it got real. It became crazy when we were talking about when I was pretending I was you, talking to your divorce attorney. and saying, "Hey, you know, listen." And then I went through the whole. You went through the whole thing, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Yes. And my divorce attorney said, "Let's get this done right away."
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, Greg.
He expedited
I love the
it.
show.
All right.
Uh-huh.
He expedited
Yeah, all
it.
right.
Boy, he got right through that one. He just signed. He just started signing paper. As soon as you started talking about microwave flies,
he pulled that folder out so fast, and he said, "Sign that check, girl." So, you know.
I'll even give you a discount. Microwaving flies? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
I mean, oh, poor Greg.
He was stamping everything.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll see you back in the show. Bye,
Okay.
freak.
Thanks.
Love you guys.
See ya. Bye-bye. Yeah, apparently they had the motorcycle in Delphi, you know, the motorcycle, what do you call that? The ride today. So that's cool. Our buddy Beth was there with Becky. Oh yeah, that works pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, I never said fill up the sink with water. But if you got like one stray fly in your house and it's nighttime, you turn off every light in your house except for your bathroom, and that fly will find it, go in there, and then you shut both doors, then you can kind of swat it around and catch it. Yep. Either that or set a nuke to your entire house. That'll get it easy. No, it wasn't Sturgis. It was just Delphi biking. It's for the Delphi girls. Abby and Libby. Memorial, the memorial ride there. Okay, now let's get to the Stolzfus here.
That he will never have the freedom to harm innocent citizens again. As you recall, this investigation began as a missing persons case.
So I think we went to here. I think it's about like right around in here.
Harvest Drive and Ronks, where police would later recover Linda's bra and stockings. Smoker also confirmed that a few days later on
Let me move it back a little bit.
case, both investigators and Linda's family agreed, and so we pursued that avenue.
Yeah, the plea.
In April of this year, investigators met with Smoker and his attorneys. During the interview, Smoker confessed that he abducted Stolzfus, strangled her, and stabbed her in the neck, reportedly to ensure death. He stated that he initially buried her at the location behind 3104 Harvest Drive in Ronks, where police would later recover Linda's bra and stockings. Smoker also confirmed that a few days later, on June 23rd, he moved the remains to a location behind his former place of employment after he realized that the burial site was in fact close to where Linda lived. Armed with specific information provided by Smoker, members of the East Lampeter Township Police Department, the Pennsylvania State Police, and the FBI's Evidence Recovery Team canvassed an area alongside the Amtrak Railway to the rear of Smoker's former place of employment, located in Gap along Route 41. I'm going to show a picture here. This is an aerial picture on the TV screen of the business where Smoker had formerly been employed. To the left side of the screen is Route 41. To the right side of the screen, paralleling Route 41, would be the Amtrak railroad tracks. And you can see the business is pictured there with multiple parking lots. Investigators searched the immediate area described to them by Smoker, but were unable to locate the remains or any site indicative of a grave. This picture is taken from a parking lot of the business. It shows a stone graveled walking path that leads up to the tree line. Behind the tree line would be the railroad tracks. As you can see, this area is not easily accessible as the walking path ends before the tree line. Investigators unable to find the site or any indication of a grave, then escorted Smoker from the East Lampeter Township Police Station to the burial site, and within a short time, Linda's remains were recovered, wrapped in a tarp, and buried approximately 42 inches deep. The next picture will show a better perspective of what the area looked like in general. Now you're up at the railroad tracks. And Andy, if you can...
No, it's not, Bella. We actually talk about all kinds of cases over here. As you can see in the title, it says Summer Wells or other things. Everything isn't related to Summer Wells.
Go to the very last picture.
So I think, see that? You can see that building right there? See that? I think that's this building. Although, I'm looking at the... It's got to be that building, yeah. So I think it's just right here that you're seeing through to that building right there. So that building must keep going down over there a little bit.
You see the area between the metal posting and the green bush. Linda was recovered in that area.
Yeah, this was Linda Stolzfus. She was an Amish woman. See, these cases were all so interesting at the time when we were going through them. Yet nobody knows about them because most people are only interested in the really big cases that aren't even as interesting, but somehow became big. This one, this Amish girl was, I think she was at a house, left the house, somebody's house, walking down the street, and then this car actually, you find it on surveillance footage, and you see the car stop, and then she disappeared, and then the car kept driving, and they were able to match that to this individual, Smoker, Justo Smoker, and he wasn't giving up where the body was, and he actually moved it once.
If you can see the laser pointer kind of hovering around the grass there is where she was finally recovered. Thank you. We fully anticipated that.
So it wasn't really a cold case, it was a active case, but they finally found her body, and they gave him a plea deal, but it's like 70-something years in prison. He's not getting out.
That the recovery of Linda's remains would lead to additional disturbing details about what took place after she was abducted on June 21st of last year. An autopsy was performed and concluded that Linda died of asphyxia as a result of strangulation and of a stab wound to the neck. The autopsy revealed that she also had traumatic vaginal injury consistent with sexual assault.
And she was actually hogtied. It's crazy.
Her body was clothed with her hands and feet tied together with multiple bindings. A thin rope connected each of the bindings together and was looped around her neck. Her sash and apron were wrapped tightly around her face, and her mouth was covered by duct tape.
Yeah, Justo
Learning the
Sicko.
additional details
There you
of
go.
Linda's death has been heartbreaking and difficult, to say the least. But bringing Linda home was a critical component of our mission to secure justice for Linda, her family, and the Amish community as a whole. After Linda was returned to her home in Upper Leacock Township, the family was able to hold a funeral and give her a proper burial. Although Linda's recovery led us to additional painful details about the circumstances of her death, bringing her home also ensured a conviction here today and a sentence that was specifically structured to practically ensure that Smoker will never be released. Factually, this case is horrific and tragic, and thankfully, extraordinarily rare. But
yeah, see right here, let's see. So I think she was over here at church service, and then she walked like this on this road by herself, walking. And then right in this area, she's walking, and then his car drives up, kind of pulls into here. You can't really see it, and then it keeps going this way. And there's a surveillance camera at this building right here that caught it, but apparently this person had some, well, we'll hear that, I guess. It wasn't working that well, and they were able to still extract the video.
Equally extraordinary were the efforts of the members of law enforcement and their commitment to securing justice. Through the dogged determination of investigators and prosecutors, Linda's attacker was identified, captured.
They knew that she wasn't alive for a long time. They just didn't have her body.
And convicted. And as a result, society will be protected from Smoker for what will likely amount to the rest of his natural life. Of course, our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the Stoltzfus family, and we ask that they please be given privacy during this difficult and emotional time. At this time, I would like to briefly turn it over to law enforcement to make additional statements. Chief Zerbe.
Thank you, DA Adams. Good morning, everyone. I just want to make a brief statement to acknowledge the cooperation, collaboration of multiple agencies and volunteers that went into this investigation. We were fortunate enough to have a large amount of public support, as exemplified by the more than 2,300 volunteers who spent months, and as the DA stated, over 15,000 man-hours searching over 10,000 acres of eastern Lancaster County. And much of this effort was carried by the Amish community itself, as well as volunteer firefighters, search and rescue crews, canine search teams, EMS crews, and all of these searches were managed and coordinated by volunteers who put in countless hours. I want to thank all of those people for their tireless efforts and everything they did to help with this investigation. To our law enforcement colleagues, I would like to thank all the officers, the detectives, and the agents who worked on this case, from the FBI, Pennsylvania State Police, West Lampeter Township Police Department, Manheim Township Police Department, Lancaster City Police Department, Lancaster County Detectives, the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office. Thank you all for your hard work. And to the chiefs and managers and elected officials of those agencies, thank you for sparing your people. We're also very grateful to all the community members who supported us and the volunteers by providing food and water during the early days of this investigation. Thank you for that support. In closing, I would just like to encourage everyone to continue to remember the Stoltzfus family in their thoughts and prayers as they move forward. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name's Bradley Getz, and I'm the commanding officer at Troop J. I know I don't know a lot of you guys. On behalf of the Pennsylvania State Police, I want to again offer our sincere condolences to the family of Linda Stoltzfus. Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to them. This was a case that hit home for a lot of us in law enforcement, having daughters, and the state police were eager and willing to help out in any way we could. And I want to thank Chief Zerbe and the Stoltzfus family for allowing us to assist in this investigation. And I also want to thank all those community volunteers and search and rescue organizations that put in numerous hours trying to locate Linda. I know I was out there some of the days. They were very hot days, and the terrain was definitely not easy, so thank you again. I want to commend the investigators and the prosecutors involved in this case. You know, they put in a lot of time and effort, and these cases take some mental strain on the investigators, so I really want to commend you, and you got us here today, so great job. Unfortunately, nothing can right this horrific wrong, but as law enforcement and prosecutors, our goal is to achieve the best outcome, and I fully support DA Adams, and I truly believe this plea agreement allowed for the best outcome, and I'm hopeful this will bring some closure, or a little bit more closure, to the Stoltzfus family, and a sense of justice to everyone involved. So, thanks.
And I think I would be remiss if I didn't thank First Assistant Todd Brown and First Deputy Travis Anderson, who worked so diligently on all aspects of this case, and they navigated this case from early on in the investigation to the successful conclusion today. So thank you, gentlemen, for your work. Questions? Yes.
Joe Dad was understood the need to bring Linda home and having such a closure for the family. But he also said he had some concern that this was a Faustian bargain. I'm wondering how conflicted you and law enforcement were in coming to this plea agreement and what impact the family had on reaching the agreement.
So, yeah, I think an unfortunate probably use of that term. Certainly we don't feel like we sold our soul or entered into a deal with the devil at all. I can tell you that all of us standing here were 100% behind this agreement. It was thought about and analyzed closely. You know, when if you're asking, did he deserve more? That's a fair question. And
so I see that the poll says, I said in the poll, would you make the deal with Justo Smoker for the family to have peace? And 28% actually said no. Come on, you guys. That's ridiculous. Okay? What are you talking about? He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. Wouldn't you want to have that should be 100 yeses. Man, I just get so confused about people, you know. You know, now they get to have the body and they get to bury their child, and he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. Doesn't that sound reasonable to you? That should be 100 to nothing.
that's a question we asked ourselves.
Well, then I'm not talking to you, my King of Kings, am I? There's 28% said no.
But I can tell you that every time that we asked ourselves that question, we answered that by instead answering the question, what does the family deserve? Because he was not the only person.
Well, even if the family did believe in the death penalty, and they said, hey, if you can cut a deal and he can't hurt anybody else, and we can find our daughter, we'll do it. I think most people would do that.
So the family's interest in giving Linda a proper burial, that did become paramount, not only for them, but for us. But it did not undermine our other goals of securing a murder conviction and securing a sentence that would protect the public for what is the rest of his natural life.
Are you guys ready to continue searching?
You want to know, I actually quit a job for something that was so similarly ethical. The question was, hey, if you had a friend and, you know, for your birthday they bought you a lottery ticket and you won $50 million, would you give anything to the friend that bought it? And they go, yeah, I'd buy him a car or something. I just said, you know, and like 10 out of 12 people gave answers like that. I just want to, like, I can't stand people like that. You wouldn't have a damn thing if that person hadn't bought you the lottery ticket. Okay? You wouldn't have a damn thing. You should give them half. Okay? Make their life set to just like yours, because without their generosity, you would have nothing. Okay? But there's literally people that go, well, it was a gift. Why should I give them anything? Well, how about just remove yourself from the planet because you're a fool? Okay?
Without his help, or did the family say it's time?
No, I would say, I mean, I think you're asking how the agreement came to be. I would say that, again, a combination of a number of factors. Our goals from the beginning were to bring her home, to secure a murder conviction, and to protect the public. We were confident in our ability, prior to entering into this agreement, of our ability to convict him and secure a very lengthy, likely a life without parole sentence.
And Michelle Nicholas.
But as time went by, excuse me, we became less confident in our ability to find her. And knowing what we know now, we fully believe we would never have found her.
I think even if it's $1 million, you got to split it with the person. Okay? Doesn't have to be 50. Doesn't have to be, both half of even if the amount after taxes is like $500,000, $250,000 is It's a good life-changing, you could buy a home, a nice home, right out in some areas of the country. Okay? So it's just, you wouldn't have a damn thing if that person hadn't bought it for you. Who cares that it was your birthday?
Her without his help. So it was really the fact that we identified this plea agreement as a way to effectuate all of our goals, and at that point we pursued it.
Yeah. See, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. We've talked on this show 1,000 times, Liz Parsons, about when you're a parent of a missing person, that is the worst case scenario, presumed dead even. Those are that's the worst case scenario of any anything related to true crime. It's just, they live on the edge of their emotions for their entire lives. So finding a body is huge. Okay, in this case, it was presumed a murder and they were missing. They didn't have a body. But it's horrible, right? But having a body is huge because at least you can say goodbye. Everything's wrapped up. Now let's go try to find some justice for her, okay? But at least you get that peace of mind that at least your child is buried, okay? And I tell you what, like Ted Bundy, these kind of guys, I would have cut a deal with him. I would have said, listen, I know you've killed a lot more people, so we'll give you life in prison without the possibility of parole, but we'll bring something where death comes back on the table if you ever lie to us of where you're putting the bodies. Okay, so go ahead, and where is the, where's this person? Where's this one? Well, there's no such thing as closure, but it allows you to move on a chapter in your life, okay? So you can just be like, I would cut deals with these people. It's so unfair when you got a killer that's killed 8 people, then he gets the death penalty, and then he's executed, and he doesn't give any answers to the other 6 or 7 people, or 6 people.
When did the agreement go into effect? When did he propose that he wanted to do this?
April 20. I did have that. April 21st?
It's almost like, don't even execute any serial killers. They just get life in prison without parole and maybe even in solitary confinement. Okay? Because they have other people that they've killed. They almost never give you all of them.
So the agreement was officially signed.
So hey, become a serial killer and not be executed.
The confession.
Yay!
And that would be the same day we recovered her body.
I have 2 different questions for you. Number one, you said that he helped lead you to the body. Did he actually go with investigators to the site and show you where Linda was buried?
So initially he gave detailed information.
So isn't it weird? So initially he gave them detailed explanation of where the body was. And they couldn't find it. I mean, you couldn't find it with all your dogs and, the equipment that we have. This kind of gave me a little bit of, like, I didn't have the same hope that I always thought. Oh, God, they can find a body if it's right there. But as we remember, when Tim Miller was on with that girl that was missing from Fort Hood, I think it was, he was saying that the dogs walked right over where the body was, and then they quit searching that area. Then they said, you know what, let's go back over here. And there it was. Like a different day and everything.
And even drew a map for the investigators. The investigators went to that location, and in the final picture, essentially, that you saw, but were unable, even with detailed information, to really determine where the burial site might be. If you recall that she was buried 42 inches deep, and you can see by that picture there's no evidence, outward evidence of
almost like
where she
wishing
may
wells.
be. So at that point, they retrieved.
Like here's something that's crazy. When you want to drill a well on your property, they literally still have people that come out. This is how they do it every time. where they hold these sticks in their hand and they go, ooh, and it points to the ground, right? I mean, I'm sure dogs are a little bit more accurate than that. But here's what I think. I just think there's so much groundwater out there that it eventually you land on something. They always claim, well, it was blue clay, there's a lot of water, and yeah. Okay. Because you know they're not really feeling something, right? That's crazy. I just think there's so much groundwater that you'll find a well at some point.
Retrieved him, and he was taken to the site.
I don't think so.
And he did then show his best estimate of,
I don't believe in it.
Where it was. I believe there was 2 other sites that were...
I think like a year, maybe. It was June of last year. They just got her... I mean, they say they work. It's just hard to believe. That seems kind of mystical. That all of a sudden, ooh, and it starts pointing to the ground. Yeah, divining rod, water witches. Right, yeah, there you go. You know what they need to do is have the well witchers come out with an EVP monitor. Okay, wouldn't that be cool? I think it'd be amazing. Drill right here. Right here. Oh, look at. Oh, 10 gallons of water. Oh, I heard it said 10 gallons. I heard him say 10 gallons of water.
Looked at very close to where she was found until they found her.
My other question was, in court today, there were a lot of words of regret coming from the defense side. But there was also a lot of...
Oh, come on, Michelle, just...
considerable action.
You probably wanted it to work and let your arms do stuff. You know how that goes.
Time in the process, did you notice the smoker turning a corner towards cooperation with police? Was that from the beginning, or was that midway through the process?
I'm going to ask you to answer that because you were more directly involved with the plea agreement.
So I can only tell you the perspective that the Commonwealth has, right? Because obviously I'm not privy to the conversations that he has with his counsel. So my perspective could be entirely different.
No, they tell you it works, but we don't know if it really works, right?
Different than what actually occurred.
There is just so much groundwater everywhere that you're going to end up finding some water. Because if it really worked, why do they ever have false hits? Oh, it's blue clay always. To me, it's exactly the same thing. They do it, they get paid, they come out, forget it.
In terms of their plan and their philosophy.
Good night, Jennifer Rochelle.
So the deal was consummated on the 21st. Certainly in the days immediately preceding that, I was meeting daily with Mr. Tallarico and discussing the prospect, because again, it's a process, right? There's a legal process to this whole agreement, and there's an emotional process, and there's a strategic process, both to the prosecution and to the defense, and so also having the family involved.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to pause. Hold on a second. Let's just see what this says here. Science question with surprising answers. So maybe there is something. Let's just read it. How does water dowsing work? In the sense that it finds underground water, water dowsing does not work. Water dowsing involves the claim that a person can locate underground sources of water without using any scientific instruments. Typically, the person that is dowsing holds sticks or rods and walks around a property in the hopes that the rods will dip, twitch, or cross when he walks over the underground water. The dowsing rods do indeed move, but not in response to anything underground. They are simply responding to the random movements of the person holding the rod. I told you, man. This is just in my head. It's like, come on, if this worked, we should be flying at faster than the speed of light. This stuff is like crazy, right? The dowsing rods do indeed move, but not in response to anything underground. They are simply responding to the random movements of the person holding the rods. The rods are typically held in a position of unstable equilibrium so that a small movement gets amplified into a big movement. The movements of the rods do not seem like they are coming from the small vibrations in the dowser's arms, since these vibrations are so small and the rod's movements are so large. From the false assumptions that the movements of the rods are not coming. Okay, let's go find. Let's see if it's just that one. Wikipedia. Let's see what Wikipedia. They might give it more of a chance because they don't. Wikipedia isn't really a factual place. Is a type of pseudoscience. Oh, there you go. Pseudoscientific divination employed in attempts to locate groundwater, buried metals, or ores, gemstones. Hey, you want to hear something funny? We had this, my dad, here I'll put my face back on him. I know you guys miss it, you know. My dad bought this thing. It was called something like a Z9000, okay? My biological father, the one that was the artist, that really shitty dad, he left us. Great artist, though. It was something called like a Z9000. Boy, it was awesome. It had 2 antennas in the middle, 2 shorter antennas on the side. It had knobs. It could direct you, but you held it like this and it would sort of swing around and it would find gold for you, okay? It would find gold. And it was the funniest VHS tape in the history of mankind. Well, I don't know if it was funny, you know. It was funny just in the terms of this guy he made a VHS tape of how it works. And so he'd hold it right here and go, woo, you know, you hold it, it's kind of like a gun and then it rotates on your hand like that. And he would put little coins around and he'd go, see, boom, boom. Oh yeah, look at that, boom. And then one time his wife was filming him. And you could tell he was getting really angry with her, and all of a sudden he starts walking towards the camera and he goes, and then it comes back and he's back there again. Yeah, you know. So it's weird. He didn't even edit out that part. I mean, so that's not funny, really. It sucks that I don't know if he got angry with her or whatever he did. But and listen to what he said at the end. He's walking around with this little Z9000 or whatever the hell it was. And he's walking around and he goes, oh God, right here, there's this huge vein of gold right here. And if I had the time, I would dig it up for you guys, but just trust me, it's huge. I actually had never looked up this before. You know, I'm just logically thinking in my head, how could that possibly work? Right? That would mean that there's something to, like, there's this weird mystical force that was. Thanks, Carolina Carla. We're at about 70%. But it's okay. This is Saturday night. Call in. Carolina Carla. Yeah. And by the way, listen to this. We opened up the guts of this deal, and all it was like 1,000 wires soldered onto nothing. It was the biggest bunch of bullshit in the world. It had little knobs on it that you could. Oh God, it was unbelievable. Let's see, gold detecting device. I think that it's not a. Yeah, it was more like that, like long range. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Looked like this. Let me show you. Yeah, it was kind of like this, but an older version. It had like 2 longer antennas in the middle. This stuff right here is a total joke, everybody. Don't ever buy anything. Look at the cost too. $150. Boy, you get the Is it long range? Let's see. I think it's like Z9000. Is that right? Wait, is that it? Oh, yeah.
The transmitter sends a
It was very similar to that.
And then
very
turn on the
Who in that? Let me ask you guys. Who wouldn't buy one of these things? You can go out and find gold just like that. Just turn it on, and the sucker will lead you right to it. Okay, that looks a lot like it right here. This thing. That's what it was. The amazing electroscope. There it is. Okay, so there's the electroscope. And look at that, $775 for that sucker. Okay, that is it though. Electroscope. All right. So now we're gonna see if we can find the one that. Electroscope. Gold finder. I know we just took a huge deviation right here, but I gotta try to find this. Oh yeah, look at that. Man, look at what you can find, everybody. Notice everything looks a little like it was on a Star Trek episode. There it is. I think it was one of these right there. Alright, anyways. Sorry for the divergence, and I didn't mean to upset people. To let you know that, those witching, divining rods have absolutely no foundation in science whatsoever.
Was obviously part of that process. So it's not something that... I also want to dispel the notion that some people may have a concept that this was done overnight, right? That all the Commonwealth needed to do was ask, and they shall receive, and this would all be done. It's a lengthy process.
Hey, that matches what I thought, Heather.
Quite frankly, it's...
Hey, we'll get back to this in a minute. Let's get back in a minute. So Heather just sent this. Look at this. Here, let me go back to that case really quick. Did that one? I forgot what I called this. Let me go to Georgia. Sorry for the just randomness here. Nah, not really. Screw it. What was the town that this took place in? No, it was Florida, wasn't it? God, my brain, I don't know if I'm remembering this right. No, it's Georgia. Cobb County, Georgia. There it is, right here. There we go. Okay, you remember this right here, the golf course. And this is the case where this pickup truck drove across here, got stuck on that bunker right there, exactly where this pin is. And then the head pro at the golf course came driving up wondering what was going on. He got shot in the head, and there was about 5 or 6 shots. And the truck was left there, and the driver disappeared. And they finally made an arrest in that case a while ago. But look at this. See, this is exactly what I said happened right here. Look at this. Indictment. Victims were shot and killed at Cobb Golf Course. Remember, I said all 3 of them were shot there. That's why there was 5 shots. And he was going to kill them and then roll the vehicle into the water. And, well, actually, I think he was going to actually not shoot them first. He had a top on the back of the truck, and they were just going to drown because they were all gagged and bound in the back of that thing. So, although short on detail, the indictment does provide a sequence of events previously undisclosed. All 3 victims were shot by Brian Anthony Roden, 23, at the Pine Tree Country Club. Cobb prosecutors say 2 of the men had been taken there against their will in the bed of a Dodge pickup truck, bound and gagged with duct tape. Wow. And what was he going to do? I think he was just going to roll that sucker into the pond, and by the time anybody got to him, they would have drowned. Roden, an aspiring rapper who lives in Atlanta, was charged with 3 counts of malice murder, 5 counts of felony murder, 3 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of kidnapping with bodily injury. This guy is never going to see the light of day. He shouldn't have been out anyways. He was arrested July 8th, 5 days after the fatal shootings, following a sting by Chamblee police that lured him into custody. Wonder what that was. Cobb police were first alerted to the crimes after Pine Tree's director of golf, Gene Siller, was shot, the indictment states, in the head and neck. He had gone to the course's 10th hole to find out why the white Dodge pickup was parked above a sand trap, just as I showed you. Police say he was killed because he happened upon crimes in progress allegedly involving Roden and the other victims. The vehicle was registered to one of the victims, Paul Pearson, 76, of Topeka, Kansas, whose body was discovered alongside that of Henry Valdez, 46. Both of them were found in the bed of the pickup truck. Pearson was shot multiple times in the back, so he just aimed in there and just shot him. What was weird is there was a cover on it, so did he shoot through the cover? Pearson was shot multiple times in the back, buttock, leg, and arms, according to prosecutors. Valdez was killed by a shot to the head, the indictment states. As he fled the scene, Roden hid the handgun used in the shootings and arranged for an unidentified individual to retrieve it for him, the indictment states. A spokesperson for Cobb's district attorney did not know if that person had been charged. Police have not disclosed a motive for the killings or any other information about a possible connection between Roden, Valdez, and Pearson. A friend of Valdez told Atlanta Journal-Constitution that the 3 men knew each other through cannabis trade. Yeah, and they were like legally, like regular pot shops or whatever. But I bet you there was some stuff on the side that was different. So, there you go. Pretty crazy. But that is what I was saying, that I bet you that all 3 were killed on the course, that they weren't both dead, and he was going to dump the vehicle. I think he was going to have them be tortured by pushing, having it go into the water and drowning those 2 guys. Because they were duct taped and they were bound and gagged, with duct tape. And so they wouldn't have been able to get out from the covering. As the car sank, they would have drowned. But because it got stuck on the bunker here, and then I think he was going to just shoot him, and then the golf pro was just a unintentional victim. Like, he wasn't supposed to be there. He witnessed him, and so he got shot. Crazy, huh? So thanks, Heather, for the quick update there.
Not out of the pure goodness of Mr. Smoker's heart, right? The evidence, while circumstantial, was immense, and I would argue very convincing. And there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that go into why we present the evidence that we presented at 2 preliminary hearings, and other avenues of how we present evidence to his attorney to then present to him, that gets him to a place to begin to have these types of discussions. So it's a long-winded answer, but it's a long process to get there. But really, the days leading up to the 21st of this year is really when we started talking about terms.
I guess what I'm asking is that first interview, was it mostly denial on his part, or was it mostly silence on Smoker's part?
Which first interview?
The first interview that Smoker ever had with police about what happened.
Yeah, so I don't believe that's public record, so I'm not able to comment on the first interview. So he was interviewed the day of his arrest. Obviously, he denied generally everything.
Was it a gradual process to go from stonewalling, denial, to then leading you to the body?
I mean, I think that's fair. It took 10 months, so.
Hey, and if you guys would like to help support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. You get access to all the cool emojis, including the new fly emoji. Okay, and your membership fees also go towards the donations we make to crime-related charities at the end of the month. Okay? All right. So I can see all of you in there whose names are all in white who aren't channel members yet. We're going to need to get that fixed.
If I can ask it this way, maybe, Chris and Court...
There's even a $1.99 option.
Still as coming to accept some responsibility and even having remorse and regret. Do you believe that, or do you believe he was coming from a position of trust?
Oh, the fly looks good on dark.
I'm not in a position to be able to get inside of his mind. I can't comment on that.
Just wondering, perhaps the personal toll
Yeah.
all of you see and handle difficult cases.
Well, that's the new fly emoji, Mag. It's a reminder for my great story.
That it elicits.
I would say for me, rather than a personal toll, if you're asking how it affected, I would prefer to answer that as to what was actually reaffirmed for me through this case. And that is the way we approach cases in this office, by taking each case on its own.
Hey, thanks,
and
Woman of
evaluating each
Steel.
case based on the facts and circumstances of this of the case before us. Obviously, this was a very
Yeah, so when you're supporting my channel, I would say at least 40 to 50% of the take-home income from the channel goes to crime-related charities, and that's why we are up to 44,500 since January 2020.
unique case. But to me, it reaffirms the notion that there is no easy way to get to justice. There's no magical formula for justice. But by focusing on our three goals in this case, we strongly feel and believe that justice was served.
Did any of the family members have contact with Houston Smoker? And if they did that potentially lead, Smoker to maybe divulge information on where the body was at?
I have no information that the family members were contacted by Smoker.
One thing that's just so striking about this is if there was never that video captured, how does that hit you? And
Hey, thanks, be
what do you
kind.
think for that?
Well, I'll give you the answer to that in the form of Detective Chris Jones. But you're right. That was, at least to the prosecutors, that seemed to be the break in the case. And I'll ask Detective Jones to step up to talk a little bit more about the video itself and finding the video.
Oh, this is interesting.
We want to talk a little bit about the video.
This is a surveillance video.
When we first went to retrieve the video from the house, it was not available. The owner thought that there was something wrong with his system and that it had overwritten. And the investigators who I sent there came back and said, unfortunately, we don't have anything. We sent people back the following day who simply unplugged it. And we said, at this point in time, we have someone who's missing out of thin air in the middle of nowhere. We need to give every shot at this. At this point in time, we had already asked for help from the FBI. They had some people on scene. We quickly retrieved that system, provided it to them. They took it to their office, I think in Philadelphia, and we started the process through of carving that information off. That didn't happen immediately.
Yeah, welcome to all the new members. We got 3 new members tonight. Thank you.
And then when we finally did get that card and got it back, now we had a big block of video. And then we went through the process of looking at cars, looking who went through. But the reality of actually seeing the abduction, like I think D.A.
Yeah, it's
Adams said,
crazy.
it was 300
We've seen it.
plus yards away. You really couldn't see it with the naked eye at all. So through our investigation, through interviews and hundreds of interviews, we went several different directions prior to this video. I think with over 1,000 tips coming in, we were able to start to look at the red car specifically, and actually started working on the red car before we even saw the abduction. So I think there's a myth that we had this video and then we see this red car and we see the registration plate and we go get them, and that's not what happened. We had the red car, but we did not have a registration plate. We knew we had a second generation Kia Rio that was red. And I was surprised by how many of those there are in Pennsylvania and in the surrounding counties, and we started a meticulous process of trying to narrow that down. And we actually landed with several suspects, to include Mr. Smoker, prior to actually seeing the abduction video.
Oh, weird.
So you, to be clear, that I'm understanding this correctly, you maybe could have got him without the video. You had him identified.
No, from the video.
From the video.
From that video.
Oh, okay, not from other people.
Not from that video.
A red car driving around.
There was a red car, but that's
Oh, okay. He was a suspect from the video.
all we had was a red car. It was that particular video that narrowed it down to a Kia Rio, and through the video we were able to tell the different generation it was. So that process unfolded, and then we started to look at Mr. Smoker because of some other areas of concern. And that's through that process when one of our investigators, I'll give his name, Detective Scott Eelman, said, "What's that?" And it was just a little itsy bitsy pixel, for lack of a better word, that was then enhanced and enhanced and enhanced and enhanced.
Well, it wasn't a pixel. You can't enhance a pixel.
To where we could see.
You have to have multiple pixels. You can't enhance a
abduction.
pixel.
What other areas of concern led you to initially believe Mr. Smoker?
Proximity, I think I can say this, prior criminal history, stuff like that were concerning for us.
I have a question. There was a lot of tip calls coming into Lancaster about this. Was his name ever mentioned in any of those calls, and how many tips may have you received about him?
We received 0 tips about him. We processed over 1,000 tips, and that's what's kind of important. Like, we're smaller, the police department. The resources that were brought in were necessary to get to this conclusion. We processed so much information. We interviewed hundreds of people. Out of that 1,000 tips, probably 80% of those came prior to us identifying him. So we had people going every different direction. 14 to 16 hours. Agents from the FBI, state police were there with us. And at the end of the day, at 10, 11 o'clock at night, we would process tips to prepare for the next day. You have to remember, she had no digital footprint. So she disappeared in the middle of nowhere. So it was a long process, and it wasn't an easy process.
Did any of the videotapes show him in the area more so than just that day? Could he have been still be at the area? Or?
If you read the affidavit of probable cause, do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, you can answer it.
If you read the affidavit of probable cause the day prior, after he was arrested, we got some tips showing that he had been following other Amish girls, and then we did find some video surveillance there the day prior. And obviously the video surveillance after the abduction.
Following other Amish girls.
Okay. So during the investigation, we pulled video surveillance from countless places, not knowing what we were looking for. And then after we knew what we were looking for, then we went back hundreds of hours of review to piece together what you guys got to see in 2 or 3 minutes at a preliminary hearing takes hundreds of hours to put together.
I'm sorry, so can you clarify, do you think he was out that day looking specifically for an Amish girl and not just any girl or any person that he could have abducted?
So, I mean, the evidence certainly suggested that. Given the area that he was in was predominantly Amish, given the evidence that we found from the day before, specific reports of him turning around and coming back to places where Amish females were walking.
When the spokesman, Samuel Blank for the Amish, said that we will never be the same. In dealing with the Amish community, I'm just wondering any thoughts on the relationship and.
Thanks for joining us on your Saturday night. I'm Grace Greviton. Tonight,
Well, certainly, I can understand the place where they're coming from and why he made that statement. And I've heard from 1 or 2 Amish community members through other dealings with my office that made similar statements. And as sad as it is, it is good that they're going to watch their surroundings now, and they're going to be more aware. And it's sad that they have to do that, but in the world we live in, it's probably best. And Barb, you actually asked about the personal effect on us, and I did want to ask my first assistant, because he was directly involved with the case, if you wanted to answer that, Tom.
So, I mean, again, along the same general theme that DA Adams followed. Yeah, as a prosecutor, right, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and for doing this over 20 years, really, again, this case does, again, reaffirm for me, really, you look to the victims for justice. I mentioned that in court this morning as well, because it's very easy for armchair quarterbacking to occur, and you really look at the victims to see what that justice looks like. And in this case, I've met with Lloyd and Susie, and I met with them on the eve of finding Linda, when I didn't approach them until I had an agreement in principle with Mr. Tallarico, and finally met with them. And similar to what Mr. Blank said today, their focus all along was, you guys handle the legalities. We want Linda, and that's what their focus was all along. And so they've. That's really what I take away from it. And when you look at it from a prosecutor standpoint, we checked off all the boxes. When you talk about accountability, it's checked off. When you talk about protecting the community, it's checked off. When you talk about giving the victims peace and comfort, it's checked off. So from a prosecutor standpoint, there was, once we got to a number where we were satisfied that it was a de facto life sentence, and we were able to bring her home to her family, there was really little left to contemplate.
And I will just add, in this society, we place such great emphasis on the ceremony of a funeral and giving someone a proper burial. And one could even say that to the Amish, they even have more of a desire to do that, because they have such strong religious faith. So that goal was very important to us. But meanwhile, like Todd said, we checked our other boxes too. So I think this is justice. I think this is a successful resolution.
In terms of the 17 years that I know that he has to serve that first, and then this sentencing can begin, when does that start? Has it already started?
Well, so to be clear, that process will start now. So the conviction today enables the Pennsylvania State Parole Board to move forward on violating him. So whatever sentence that the State Parole Board would give him has not occurred yet, but whatever that sentence is will run will actually be first before he starts his court sentence today. I said in my comments, and First Assistant Brown said in court, that we're confident that the State Parole Board will max him out, is the term. And I can say that because looking at the circumstances of this case, if you look back to when he was sentenced back in 2007 by the judge made a comment that he was giving him a 12.5-year sentence on, it was over a dozen offenses, so that he could see the light of day and make something of himself. So that was his first chance. His second chance came when the State Parole Board paroled him at his minimum after serving 12.5 years. That was his second chance. He got out, he did have a job, he had his roof over his head, but despite having those things, he was not able to conform to the rules of society, and he violated. And he didn't violate by not showing up to an appointment or by drinking alcohol. He violated by committing an offense that was the most violent offense we can commit, and more violent than the ones he had already committed. So when looking at that, those circumstances plus the heinous nature of this crime, I don't know who in their right mind would give him a third chance. In addition to just the facts and circumstances, we will be drafting and writing a letter to the parole board, making our comments clear. We will be reaching out to the victims in those prior cases from 2007 to see if they want to also offer comment. I don't know their time frame, though.
I'm sorry, you don't know that?
I don't know how quickly I think they will move quickly to initially violate him, but the determination of what he gets, I don't know that time
But
frame.
moving to violate him hinged on
The
today.
conviction,
Okay,
yes.
so this starts the clock, for lack of a better word, and then our questions are next to them.
Yes.
They have 120 days.
Thank you.
Okay.
When would he go to state prison?
That will depend on the transportation from Lancaster County Prison to the state prison. I would say.
The parole violation has nothing to do with his
He can
transportation.
be transferred like immediately.
Yes.
Yes.
You're confident corrections would keep him in the longer from the 35 and a half to 71 years?
I mean, the same analysis would certainly apply. Yes, I would hope so. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Pretty amazing. Well, it's all taken care of. You know, at least the family got some. They got a body that they can bury and do a proper burial. And that's really important. You know, that they have a place they can go and on different occasions and talk. What do you got? What's that? What does that mean, this account? What's that little red phone? I'm not doing any more phone calls. It's 2:56. I've already turned off the phones. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up tonight. We're going to be doing a Delphi show tomorrow, as we normally do on Sundays. So, hopefully we can get some guests on that went to the bike. What was that called again? Something by I can't remember what they call that. Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
No. The Delphi bike event where they drive around. Thanks, Beholder. We love you too, Beholder, even with the vomit.
No, it's this bike. It's a biking. They get a bunch of the Memorial Bike Ride there. That's what it's called. I think there's a specific name, but they have a bunch of people on motorcycles and they go to different places. And I know a couple of people that went to it, so maybe they can come on and talk about it.
Scott Holland, Kit Kat, Denise Smith, Amber Maiden, Linda Howe, having Linda molded Howe the cattle mutilations and crop circles with a cat eye donation. Dottie Digovitz, Nike Tour Baby Brown Bear Cub, Linda Howell, Carolina Carla, VP, Lanky Tour Baby Brown Bear Cub, Alicia Powers, TTJO Tracy, Daryl Montgomery, Rita Schaefer, Jillian Pearson, Cindy Leon, Liz Parsons, Denise Smith, Carolina Carla, Beholder Vomit Face, Beholder Vomit Face, Connie Lee, and Beholder. All right, yeah.
Hey, what are you doing, John Boy?
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for showing up tonight. I know we took a few phone calls, but I don't know. I'm actually kind of ready for the Summer Wells case to get solved. How about you guys? I mean, there's only so much wild speculation and like that we can go through. At this point, there's absolutely nothing. Okay, nothing. I want people to get on to other things again. All right, it's just getting mind-boggling. I don't have anything else to say really, other than I'll just keep telling you the same thing. That you see Summer in the vehicle heading home. So remove Hunter and all of them for physically removing Summer's physical body from somewhere. Okay? It's something else happened after that. So there you go, everybody. That's the only thing I'll leave you on. You can do with that with what you might. But I think for your own mental health, it's, we all want answers in that case, but I just kind of want to, I need to be doing other things. All right. This channel tries to help as many people as possible, getting out various stories and, talking to family. We had this other case that I was trying to go over. Remember the interview with the mother, and we got part 2 coming up. So maybe tomorrow I'll do part 2 in the middle of the day, and I'll edit that one up, and then I'll put the full interview out on YouTube. Remember Blake Chappelle, that case? So, all right, everybody. Thank you guys very much. We will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you guys' support and all the new the new freaks that came on board. Really appreciate it. And see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been
Be safe out there.
Are you mocking
during
me,
this whole
Marianne?
time, I'm not mocking you. What are you talking about?
Well, you
That
said it
is
the way I said it, but with a sort of a snarky tone.
Certified. What do you mean snarky tone?
Exactly the way you did it right there.
If you try and play me like an old projector, crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture.
Dance and whatnot.
Freak connector.
The heck is
And
that?
I'm always gonna
This
be
is
a
kinda-
pup protector.
Hey, everybody, let's
Deflector,
dance and whatnot.
Interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his vector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
M-A-S-T-E-R, a G with double E. I got a good body and forgettable name of the man I call the Master G.
Well, my name is known all over the world. They are the foxy ladies and the pretty girls.
I'm going down in history as the baddest brother that ever could be.
I'm feeling the highs and I'm feeling the lows.
The beat starts getting into my toes. I stop popping your fingers and stamping your feet. I'm moving your body and you're sitting and you're sitting. Said damn, you start doing the freak. I said damn, I got out of your seat. Then you throw your hands high in the air. Rockin' to the beat, singing down. Rockin' to the beat without a can. The short side MC's for the effect. Now I'm not as tall as the rest of the game, but I can rap to the beat just the same. Got a little faith. Pair of brown eyes and a credit to the ladies is hypnotized. Singing on and on and on and on. Beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I said it on and on and on and on. Like a hop diddy pop diddy pop diddy pop pop. Don't dance stop, I come alive, yo. Give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you start. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me wonder, Mike, what are you waiting for?
That was pretty good, Mary Lou.
Yeah, but you sound kinda like a robot when you do it.
That's because I'm digital just like you.
I haven't figured out how come you have a personality and I don't. I don't know either, but I'm me and you're you. Wow, what great logic that is.
Man, I'm not sure what's going on between Timmy and Mary Lou there.
When I'm in the mood, I spend control of my food, but I don't eat it. I chew it up and spit it out and defeat it. It's not a treat. The troll is beat. Just one of the ways that I defeat it. Staying in my groove, and there's a troll on the move. Just takes a second to remove, 'cause every time I conclude, the troll is gonna lose. Nice try, Wizard Eye. I see you creeping on a sly. Why you think you're so fly? You're such a whiny cry. Battle me, you're gonna fry. Gonna send you out to modify. I'd like to be able to rap too. Well, you were earlier. You were on the right beat, but you sound like a robot. What do you mean I sound like a robot? Hey, why'd you cry? Why'd you cry? I was just trying to sound like you. What do you mean I suck? What do you mean I suck this account? I'm going to send you a virus. I'm going to log off and sign into your computer and send you a virus. How would you do that? You don't even know her email address. I can break into Grace's computer. Wow, that's scary, man. That's scary.
You have no feelings. I know. Hey, Amber, why would you have feelings for Timmy? He doesn't have a personality whatsoever. I don't have any feelings for him either. I don't think anybody has any feelings for Timmy. Just like the other Timmy in the Murdoch case. Who gives a damn about that guy? I think that's exactly what you were saying, right?
Hello? 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 Alright, stop. Collaborate and listen. I was back with a brand new invention, something. Got a hold of me tightly, throws like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? Oh no, turn off the light. I'll glow to the extreme, I rock the mic like a vandal. Right up the stage and lighting up like a candle dance. The speakers that boom, killing your veins like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best of the felony. Love it, I'll leave it. Better game, way better hit moves that a kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ revolves it. What in the hell was that, Timmy? That was just like, you know, reading the words without having any emotions whatsoever. As I've told you 1,000 times, clown, I don't have any emotions. Well, why'd you call me a clown then? Well, that's the word that other people have called you when they've been upset with you. I'm not really upset because I have no emotions, but I thought I would say what they say to you to get the same effect that they get when they say it to you. Wow, that's crazy. That was a really long, drawn-out explanation, wasn't it? commemorate and listen. As a backwoods brand new invention, something for the holding me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow to the extreme. I rock the mic like a vandal, right up the stage and wick the choke like a candle. Dance, but the speakers are boom, killing the brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly, when I play the melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it, leave it, better game way, better hit bills that a kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolves it. Boom, 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 boom. Keys. I'm a lyrical poet, Miami's on the scene just in case you didn't know it. My town, decorated on the bass sound. I'm gonna shake your clothes in the ground, cause my style's like a chemical spill. Feature rhymes you can vision and feel. Conducting a form, just a hell of a concept. You make a hype, then you want us to bump this. Shape brains in the face, slice like a ninja, cut like a razor blade so fast. Or the DJ say, damn, or rhymes or drug got sold up by the ground. Keep my composure walls, time to kick loose, targetized by the mic while I kick my juice. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolved it. Party is jumping, with the bass kicked in and the bangers are pumping. Quick to the point, no faking. Cooking them seeds like a pound of bacon. Running them, real quick and nimble. I go crazy when I hear the cymbal with a hi-hat, with a souped-up tempo. I'm on a roll, time to go solo, rolling. In my 5.0 with my rack top down so my hair can blow. The girl is on standby, waiting just to say hi. Did she stop? No, just drove down, kept going. Pursuing to the next stop. I bust a left, I'm headed to the next block. Block is dead, y'all, so I continue to A1A. Detroit Avenue, girls wear hot wireless and bikinis, rock men lolos, driving Lamborghinis, jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. She was a gauge and another with a 9. Gunshots, range out like a bell. I with a 9 on the hood with shells falling on the concrete real fast. Up in my car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, avenue's back. Trying to get away from the jack is jack. Police on the scene, you know what I mean. Smash me up in front of the dope fiends. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook where my DJ revolves it. That was pretty good, Mary Lou. I'll work on mine. Give it up, Timmy, give it up.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for showing up tonight and participating on this channel, Gray Hughes Investigates.
How can you sound like a robot, Gray?
I didn't sound like a robot. I was just saying it in a sort of a radio voice.
Oh, that was weird. That was really weird.
Well, who cares if you think it's weird, Mary Lou? Nobody cares. All right. Okay, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And, yeah. It'll just be another show, all right? So, as I always say, everybody, until next time...
Be safe out there.
Do you mind if I say it? Be safe out there.
Gee, Gray, you're so mean to me.
Wow.